Hello and welcome to the FIA World Rallycross Championship presented by Monster Energy. For the first time, the championship has come to Africa, and what better stage than the beautiful city of Cape Town. The final event of the season here in South Africa takes place at the Killarney International Raceway. There hasn't been a World Championship race in this country since 1993, and the excitement has been building for months. As the teams prepare to take on the new track in Cape Town, what better time to look back on a season that has been on fire since round one. 2017 kicked off in Barcelona, and after the winter break, everybody was desperate to get racing and see who'd done their homework in the holidays. Timo Scheider was looking rapid and topped the table after 4 rounds of qualifying. Come the final, it was reigning champ Matthias Ekstrom who was on pole and in control entering the first corner. Battles raged behind, but the title defence had started in style. Round 2 and the windswept hills of northern Portugal were jam-packed with fans. A puncture for Solberg opened the door for Ekstrom to take the lead, but he was being hounded by a rampant Sebastian Loeb. Ekstrom held his nerve to take the win, but he left knowing he was in a fight this campaign. Round 3, Hockenheim. This venue always delivers hard action, and some struggled to keep it on the track. But not Ekstrom. He metronomically sliced his way to the front row for the final and then banged in the fastest lap of the day to make it 3 from 3 in Germany. Ekstrom was fresh out of friends as RX hit Belgium. The paddock was on the hunt and the champion was a marked man. In semi-2, the Solberg-Bakkerud rivalry began to simmer again, and come the final, it boiled over. This is a grudge that won't give up. Timmy Hansen was leading the race before a puncture robbed him of a chance of the win. Kristofferson slipped through on the last lap to take the VW team's maiden victory. Rallycross celebrated its 50th birthday at the birthplace of the sport, Lydden Hill. It was a weekend packed with memories and emotion, and capped by a dominant victory for Peter Solberg, who hadn't visited the top step for 16 rounds. Round 6 and the screams of hell rang out as Kristofferson's foot got crushed under a car in Norway. Semi-1 and the Battle of the Norwegians erupted on home soil. Bakkerud elbowed Solberg wide in the Joker. Solberg missed the cut and knew who to blame.
I just really, I don't know how it works. I'm so disappointed, in Norway, and second time in Norway, pushed me off the road.
Now running on pure adrenaline and with a suspected fracture, Kristofferson exited the Joker to cement his lead and take a valiant victory. As 40,000 plus fans descended on the remote Swedish town of Holius, the annual RX party got started. Kristofferson was on it from the very start and was untouchable all the way to the final flag. 7 finals, 6 podiums and 3 wins gave him a sizable championship lead and a massive mental advantage over his crushed opposition. Round 8 and the championship left Europe for the first time this season for Canada and the Trois Rivières circuit. The VW team outfit continued their unstoppable charge with a Kristofferson-Solberg 1-2 in Quebec. Over the weekend, 70,000 fans came to worship the French demigod Sebastian Loeb on his home track in Loiac, and he didn't disappoint, setting the pace on day 1. In the final, Kristofferson again set the standard, and after a spin from Hansen, Loeb was in hot pursuit. But nothing could stop the championship leader taking a record 4th World RX victory in succession. It was title time in Latvia. Kristofferson knew he could wrap up the championship, but he also knew it wasn't going to be easy. The weekend hotted up quickly for Timo Scheider, who amazingly made it back out for Sunday. Solberg was also on fire, setting the pace on pole for semi-1, but the first corner ended all that. The massive impact broke his ribs and collarbone, but not his resolve. The double World RX champion instantly vowed to be back racing at the Estering. His teammate Kristofferson kept his focus on the title and did what he has done best this year: win. And win in style, wrapping up both the Drivers' and Teams' Championships in one shot. An epic day for PSRX Volkswagen Team Sweden. Round 11 Estering, and just 4 days before he arrived, Solberg was in an operating theatre. That and some bespoke body armour saw him ready to race in Germany. In the most heroic performance of the year, Solberg showed why he's a legend, lining up on pole for the final. Ekström was alongside him, and as they exited the infamous first corner, Ekström was in the lead, which he held to the line to take his 4th win of the year. It's been a stunning season from the start with a very worthy new World Rallycross champion. So the championship is wrapped up, but everybody will want to finish on a high and prove they have the right stuff as the 2018 seats start to fill up. World RX is the only championship to visit sub-Saharan Africa, and the Cape Town fans gave a warm South African welcome to the teams.
I think it's great to bring world motorsport to Africa as a whole, and Cape Town, it's a beautiful city. First time I'm here, and the track looks absolutely fantastic. I put a good effort into building the track, and view is good with the Table Mountain on the back. Quite excited to end the season here.
It's amazing. I've been here for only a few hours, but you know, being here downtown by the waterfront with all the cars and all the people is just amazing. So I think it's a brilliant place to end up the season, and hopefully we can get a good result as well.
In the battle for second this year, Solberg and Ekström are separated by just 1 point. Pride is a powerful motivator for racing drivers. This will get personal on the track. They've raced each other 32 times so far this season, and remarkably head-to-head, it's a 50-50 split. But come crunch time in the final, it's gone Ekström's way. He has 4 wins to Petter Solberg's 1. They will be desperate to beat each other. This is a rivalry that goes back years.
Yeah, I mean, I had many fights with Petter, especially last year, and this year it have also been a couple of great ones. So for sure it's nice to end the season with a big one, and we just hope that it plays out pretty cool so that we can have a real race the whole weekend. And we'll meet us already in Q1. I'm on lane 5, he's on lane 4, so we have all the chances to have a go already in Q1.
It will be a hard fight. Ekström is a very good driver and a very clever driver. He has a lot of the same philosophy as we have in the team, so we will see on Sunday.
Before the action gets underway here in South Africa, let's take a look at the track. A brand new FIA World RX track built at Killarney International Raceway just outside Cape Town. Circuit length just over 1 kilometre, 60% asphalt and 40% dirt. We ride on board with Sebastian Loeb from the start line, pulling gears incredibly quickly up towards turn 1. It's important here to get towards the inside line. The camber is in your favour if you're near the curbs, but expect some to try and go round the outside. Over the big Latvia spec curve on the right and then to the left. He pulls a gear to turn the car in before cresting the jump, and then downhill back onto tarmac, braking for a very, very tight 90 right, 90 left. Again, big curbs on the left, you can use all of those. Joker splits left here, we go to the Joker. The standard lap is tight hairpin on gravel. The tarmac section on the Joker here may mean you can gather a little bit more pace and carry a bit more exit speed as you rejoin the standard lap here on the right. Then it's a drag race up to a bumpy braking zone and a tricky chicane over a crest to finish off a flying lap in Cape Town. Coming up, we've got highlights of the action from qualifying 1 and 2, the best of the action from qualifying 3. It's crunch time in Q4, only the top 12 qualify. Only the top 3 go through in the live World RX semi-finals. Then it's time for the last Rx2 Final of the year, and then the biggest race of the weekend, the last World RX Final of 2017. On then to qualifying in South Africa, and in Q1 it was Timmy Hansen for the Peugeot Hansen squad who set the pace, setting the fastest time of the session. They of course are trying to hold on to second place in the team standings from EKS Audi. The moment of the session though was undoubtedly this. Andreas Bakkerud, close at the merge, went for a move at the finish and ended up spinning over the line, much to the delight of the South African fans, as well of course as his own fan club who travelled all the way down from Norway. On to Q2, and it was all about the battle for second in the drivers' standings. Petter Solberg had got a great start, but unfortunately suffered a puncture and ended up going backwards in the pack. His teammate Kristofferson unable to help him this time. Meanwhile, Matthias Ekström went on to take the checkered flag in his race, but luck was on Petter's side because the stewards got involved and gave him a 5-second penalty for pushing Timo Scheider in turn 1. But it was Ken Block, seen here passing his teammate Andreas Bakkerud at the last corner, who proved the most consistent over the 2 sessions and takes his first ever overnight TQ.
I haven't had this sort of success with this car, you know, in 2 years, so it feels good to finally have this success. So if they could just change all the races to be like this circuit, we'd be better off. But yeah, overall it feels really good. To be able to come away with a podium or win would really kind of cap off, you know, the last 2 years of frustration with some positivity.
Here are the standings then after day 1 in South Africa. Ken Block is the top qualifier from Jannis Bouwmanis. Great performance by him. Kristofferson, Hansen, Bakkerud, Hockenheim, Kevin Hansen and Timo Scheider at the top 8. Solberg and Ekström battling for second in the driver's standings are down in P9 and 10.
Footage on the social media will maneuver around the outside of the final heat.
Before the action got underway on track, the fans at Cape Town's V&A waterfront were introduced to World RX in style, but it was the drivers that were left every bit as impressed.
I think it's very good for the sport to expand a little bit the geography of the championship. Also for the drivers, you know, to come to a new place, new track, new spectators. It's fantastic. I will stay a few days after, and I think I will enjoy.
It's the first time for me to come to South Africa, but it looks really, really nice, and it seems to be a nice place to come. So the track is also good. So we have everything to spend a good weekend.
The atmosphere and stuff, it's so important when we're going around, and so far we have only positive things to say about coming to Cape Town, and that's the same for all the drivers. No negative at all, the food is fantastic.
For South Africa's sportsmen, both past and present, bringing World RX to the Cape is a chance to reignite their country's passion for motorsport.
To have my first proper international Rallycross event here locally and only 10 minutes away from my farm, it's something really special to me, and I mean, I'm hoping that I can really give it something back to the local crowds and have the local support behind me.
Well, it's a great experience in Africa, and it's also the right time with Africa. You know what the country is going through with all the diversity with people, and it's an amazing event, and an event that actually can also help us unite as a nation.
I think this is the most exciting thing that's happened in South African motorsport in the last 20 years, or maybe even longer. And to have a world championship is something fantastic for the South African motorsport, and I think it's going to get the whole scene going again.
I think it's going to become a huge success, and I think the knock-on effect for that is really just to attract local business to support local youngsters up through the ranks and into a supercar. So that's really, I think, ultimately what I would like to see, and I think there's potential for that.
To cap a fantastic first day in South Africa, the drivers visited Cape Town's world-famous Table Mountain.
This is an amazing place to talk about Rallycross. So I experienced South of Africa a bit and Cape Town a bit, and I have to say I love the people. People are really friendly, open-minded, and yeah, the nature is awesome around here, I have to say as well.
It's really nice actually. You can see that it's Atlantic and Indian Ocean together, really close, and first time I think on the point so close to this area.
Everything looks so small and quite far away, but yeah, for sure it's beautiful view of the city and sea.
And it's a bit cold here. You can see my nipples and everything.
Hello, my name's Andrew Coley. Joining me on commentary this weekend is Sasha Martinengo, Speed Sport Africa's F1 analyst. Reporting from the paddock and the spotters tower, as always, Neil Cole. Here's how we stand ahead of Q3. Ken Block was the overnight top qualifier from Bouwmanis and Kristofferson. But down in P9 and P10, Ekström and Solberg. Ekström given a 5-second penalty for contact with Scheider yesterday, and Solberg having a bit of a shocker. On to the early races of Q3, and the first one featured both the South African drivers. Rainis Nittish shut the door on Ashley Haig-Smith in turn 1. That allowed him to get out front and set the benchmark for everyone else. Race 2, and 3 drivers we wouldn't expect to see so early in the qualifying session. Timosjanov, Loeb and Eriksson. Eriksson up the inside of Loeb down into turn 1, but on the exit, Loeb managed to slot back. Timosyanov was on a big push, but Sebastian Loeb had a fantastic joker strategy and then pushed really hard to come out in front of the Russian. Ericsson was third. 5-car race for race 3. Gronholm with an absolutely terrible start. Petter Solberg and Timmy Hansen coming together on the run down to turn 1. It was Scheider who led through the long right-hander. Solberg trying to go all the way around the outside. Timmy Hansen managing to slot in. Solberg did get past de Moustier, which was crucial if he was to set a fast time. He then jokered to get himself out of traffic. Scheider running wide, allowed a couple of them to go through. This was earlier on in the race. Hansen leading at this point. Solberg, as I say, with his joker strategy, managing to come back in front of Timo Scheider, who held on for P3, but it was Hansen with the win and fastest time. Race 4, Q3 is on the grid. That is the start shot of the year. Rennie Munich on the inside, JB de Borg, Oliver Eriksson, Johan Kristofferson and Matthias Ekström. So looking at their positions, look, only Kristofferson is safe in P3. Everybody else is a little bit further down. If you didn't follow the story yesterday, Ekström given a 5-second penalty for contact with Scheider, which has dropped him down to P10. Him and Solberg in that fight for P2 in the championship. They're very close together at the minute. The low rumble of the horsepower that is about to be unleashed. I'm loving this shot. That is just such a good shot. We've got some beautiful rallycross tracks in the World Rallycross Championship, but we have a new one here in Cape Town. Absolutely fantastic. Here we go. This is going to give you the best possible angle of who gets the fastest start. Oh, it looks to be good for Kristofferson. We can't really see from here. Munich as well has got the car hooked up. So Munich on the inside. Kristofferson's going to try and cut all the way across. He does. Oliver Eriksson goes with him too, but round the outside. Ekström with a bit of understeer on the exit of the corner. He's going to try and hold on around into turn 2, but he can't quite make it stick. So it is Kristofferson. Oliver Eriksson, though, around the outside of Ekström, almost in the tyre wall. Just holds on up over the jump. Dubourg might get up the inside of him, but Eriksson, I think, is going to hold on. Dubourg takes a dive up the inside. Can't make it work, though. So Eriksson holds on to P3, but Kristofferson and Ekström here in P1 and P2.
Well, I mean, those are the two guys you would expect to be at. Two of the guys, Dubourg and Munich, going on for the joker laps, but those are the two guys you would expect to be at the front, and they had to work very, very hard just to get there.
And Ollie Eriksson doing a nice job there in P3 too, so really, really fighting. Of course, normally competes in the GRC over in the States, so great to have him with us again this weekend. Lots and lots of talk of who's going where for 2018. Look forward to seeing who signs up for World RX and in what teams they're in. Kristofferson, look at that, he's on an absolute mission.
I mean, that is why he's the world champion. What a driver, he's really just fantastic, and he's got Ekström following him down there as well. Ekström, of course, fighting with Solberg for that critical position too in the championship. It's fantastic driving here.
So Ekström following Kristofferson. He knows Kristofferson's quick. You know, you'd think Kristofferson, in theory, could hold him up a bit if he wanted to help Solberg, but I think that help will come later in the weekend. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kristofferson help Solberg in the semi-finals or the final if they needed to. But, you know, the VW team and the Form team, Sasha, will probably see both of them up there.
I think that's what we're going to see this weekend, and that's what we want to see. Fastest lap of the day, Matthias Eriksson, 40.8, unbelievable. And that is with another obstruction in turn 3, so I mean, that's just fantastic.
Yeah,
just showing you the speed of this circuit as well.
Absolutely. Look at the curves there. The Riga curve, as it's known, they're riding fully over the top of that. And that caused a few issues for some of the drivers. Yes, they may be taking a little bit too much curve. Kristofferson gets the car beautifully straight. Look, great traction. Slightly different line behind from Ekström.
And also you can see Ekström just lost a couple of tenths of a second there. So I mean, Kristofferson just showing the class that he really is.
He certainly is. Ekström looked right out to the edge of the circuit through the long turn 1. I'm wondering about tyre degradation here, because remember, they only get 2 sets through the whole weekend. Fastest lap of the day for Kristofferson by 3 tenths. We said, didn't we? The exit was great. You know, with that long left-hander, we could be looking at people with some pretty worn tyres by the time they get to the semi-finals and finals. We might not see new tyres at the later stages this weekend. Kristofferson and Ekström into the joker lap. Eriksson's got to go too, so this is the order in which they're going to finish.
Well,
this is about time.
I don't know. Watch out for Dubourg. Dubourg could get Eriksson for third. He could get him, although I must say, great exit from Eriksson in the joker lap there. So he just held on to it. Brilliant
Good
stuff.
spot by Sasha. It is Kristofferson who takes it. What's the time? 2:52.0. Wow. 1.5 seconds quicker. And that is the ultimate pace of the VW, which has shown its hand there. So Kristofferson with a fantastic drive. You could see he was on a big push from the attitude of the car, particularly through the left-hander before the jump. And I can actually see the marshals heading out and moving the tyre bale there. So somebody's clipped it. It's Dubourg. No, it's Eriksson, Oliver Eriksson. You can see the front left wheel arch missing. Here's the result of Q3 race for Kristofferson with the new fastest time, 2:52.096 from Ekstrom, Eriksson, Dubourg and Rennie Munich. And that's where they slot in. So Ekstrom went quicker than Hansen too. This is going to be exciting. That Solberg's up there as well. The fight for P2 continues.
Well, that was an incredible race. Of course, Matthias and Petter are in the battle. Johan seems to be playing the team role, but how was Ekstrom?
It's always difficult on the fifth position in the start line. The grip is not so high there, but the first corner is tough, and we did our best here.
Very good. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, interesting that some of the people think that the P5 grid start is not the best one. It's brand new tarmac on the outside to make the track 15 metres wide. And EKS do have a machine which they can go out and measure the traction with, believe it or not, Sasha. So they're pretty technical. Despite all the gravel and things, we're a little bit F1 as well, a little bit.
I love it. It's just brilliant. But I mean, those two drivers have to get up there. And Ekstrom was really brilliant. And he started on right on the outside. So, you know, he did a terrific job showing his experience there as well. But Kristofferson, it just doesn't make any mistakes.
Look at this.
Look at him, he's sideways, but he maintains that grip and traction all the way through.
Yeah.
Brilliant to watch this man drive.
Wonderful, wonderful momentum. And we say fastest lap of the day, set on the third lap as well. Went on to take the win, and with it, the top slot in Q3. Well, up in this next race are Kevin Hansen and Yannis Baumanis. Let's have a look at their head-to-head statistics. An up and down season for both of them, look, but actually tracking a pretty similar path. One or two events where they've had very different results. 15 times they've met on track, and it's actually pretty even. 53% of the time, look, it's gone to Yannis Baumanis. Kevin Hansen with 5 qualifying race wins compared to Yannis' 7, but neither of them has taken a semi or a final yet. The last race of Q3, all lined up and good to go. See if any of these guys can knock Kristofferson off the top spot. Yannis Baumanis, the winner of Q2. Ken Block, the overnight top qualifier. Kevin Hansen, 7th, you can see after Q2. Toppy was 6th, and Andreas Bakkerud was 5th. We've seen Bakkerud at the top of the timesheets this weekend, I think, in FP1, and his fan club are in full effect in the grandstand. Ford Focus RS-RX on its last outing in the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Can they sign off in style? Block, as I say, the overnight top qualifier. A little bit fortuitous with some other people having punctures, but, you know, consistency is what puts together a great weekend in the World Rallycross Championship. Here we go. Best seat in the house. Very even start, except for Baumanis on the inside. He loses out, so Baumanis drops back. Block, I think, is going to get the whole shot. Hansen slots in behind him. Bakkerud is down in P4. If he's not careful, he's going to lose out to Baumanis. He gets in the side of Heikkinen, who gets in the side of Hansen and goes up to P1 up the inside, but now he's been turned around. So Heikkinen there with a bit of trouble down in turn 2. Couldn't make it work, and it is Bakkerud who leads. So Bakkerud, who was nowhere.
You would never have called that if you went into turn 1. Incredible. Ken Block looked as though he was going to go into turn 1 and 2 in the lead. But Bakkerud, this kid is unbelievable. Got a little bit lucky, but definitely made it stick.
I need to see the replay of that session. They're all a little bit wide. Look at the dip. So Bakkerud runs wide. Bakkerud hasn't got good traction. Kevin Hansen has. Kevin Hansen's hooked it up down the straight. This is going to be a flat-out race in the braking zone. Bakkerud's later on the brakes. Can he get it turned in? He can. So Bakkerud leads from Kevin Hansen. My goodness me. This has got it all going on.
I've got to tell you, that final chicane is unbelievably fast. So really, really take a lot of guts there. But Bakkerud had to hold on, and he braked a little bit later there than Hansen. But wow, this is incredibly close racing.
So we've got smoke coming off the rear left of Baumanis. I wonder if it's just from contact or if the wheel is actually moving around. It's hard to see at this point. Car looks a little bit unstable on the brakes. I don't know if he's lost one of the links on the rear, but it does seem to be handling correctly. So we'll find out in a minute for sure.
I've got to tell you, Andrew, everyone is slowing everybody else up here. Ken Block, the man in the greatest position over here. He's done his Joker lap, and he's only 3.3 seconds off Bakkerud. Ken Block is the man to watch for this race.
So Block keeping it tidy. Can he make up the time to the leading 3? Heikkinen's gone Joker as well. Really keen to see what happened to Heikkinen in that first corner. Say, managed, I really thought he got it. He was up the inside and then just couldn't get the car turned in. So through the right and the left, the drivers all saying this is a really technical track, and in fact the Hoonigan racing team saying that it really suits the Focus.
It's incredible. I mean, yesterday they were incredibly strong, and I tell you, Bakkerud and Block, both of them really good. Oh, great shots over there going through that very, very tight chicane. And we see Baumanis goes into the Joker lap. Bakkerud struggling in that in the gravel.
Looking for traction on the inside. Ken Block goes 3.4 down now. I think he's going to get Baumanis, but I'm not convinced he's going to get the Tourer in front of him. So Baumanis slots back in ahead of Heikkinen. Heikkinen really losing out with that half spin. So yeah, they're saying the Focus works really well in long corners, and this first corner is one of the longest we've got in this championship.
It's it's just incredible because it's like a double apex for all of the drivers. Watch out, Ken Block only 2.7.
So Sasha's on it. Sasha's on it.
They're holding it. Bakkerud, I think, is struggling. I really think he's got a problem going into the slower parts of the circuit.
So Ken Block hook it up on the inside, and he clips the tyre bail.
Oh, I think he's messed it up. He's messed it up.
So it's going to be a drag race anyway. Ken Block's got to get on the gas. He's on the dirt on the inside. Bakkerud's got just a little bit more pace. Sasha was absolutely bang on the money. It would have been blocked but for a mistake in the very last corner, and it is Bakkerud who takes the final race, but the time is not good. 2:57.4, that's only good enough for P11, so great race, terrible time.
Unbelievable. I mean, great action, but this is all what it's about, Andrew, is about the time. And Bakkerud, I don't know, kept on, he just looked very, very slow.
He did 2:57.4, the clocks are right, it was behind Ericsson, it's behind Oliver Ericsson, so Ken Block was on for that, great spot, Sasha's, he's killing it. He can't go, I can't have this.
Beginner's luck.
Not at all. Bakkerud takes race 5 in Q3 from Block, Hansen, Baumanis and Heikkinen, but when they slot in, you'll see none of them are on the front page. That is not ideal.
Dave, so a great result for Andreas and Ken, but the times were not good.
No, lots of fighting in corner one, and that's the problem with this game. If you don't get a clean start to the race, it affects your time by a couple of seconds for sure for the race time. Loads of fighting in corner one. Somehow we managed to go from 5th to 1st, so we'll take that. And we just had to try and push as much as we could to get Andreas through for a decent time. But I don't know where that puts us overall, but still a load of work to do now.
Well done anyway.
Cheers, thanks.
David Mansfield not over the moon with the performance there. Watch for Toppy Heikkinen and Sasha. Look, he's out in P4 here, and somehow he looks like he's going to do it, and then it all goes wrong.
I mean, it's amazing there in the Audi, and he looks so good. He's got the inside line, and then all of a sudden, I think it was Bakkerud or was Block.
I think he's been pushed by Bakkerud.
There we go.
Bakkerud, watch from the rear shot. So Block's outside here. Look, Bakkerud's in. Okay. I wonder, let's have a look at the screens. There's nothing showing, but I don't know, you could see, I think Toppy could feel a little bit aggrieved with that one.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be very happy about that. But it's amazing, just listening to the managers there, they're saying about 5 seconds that they lost going into that first corner. It's the guys are going to have to be very careful when it comes to Q4.
There's things like this which are great for us, brilliant for us watching, but, you know, they were losing time. And Bakkerud and Kevin Hansen know well enough as well. But, of course, you know, if you get a chance to get in front of the other car, that's half a second, you're further up. So, yes, it's about time. You still want to beat the other guys, but this time it didn't work out.
Yeah, that's for sure. And if you look here, I mean, Ken Block actually, unfortunately, he messed it up himself on the inside.
So close, but none of them are there in this one. Well, here are the standings then after Q3. It is Johan Kristofferson who takes the 3rd session of the weekend. Timmy Hansen, having won Q1, is in P2. And Q2, of course, was won by Baumanis, who drops well down the order. Ekstrom is P3, Ken Block, Andreas Bakkerud, Solberg, P6. So at the minute, he would be 3 championship points behind Ekstrom just on qualifying here. Then we've got Loeb, Kevin Hansen, Timmers Yarnov, and Toppy Heikkinen down to P12. Oliver Ericsson, Kevin Ericsson, Niklas Gronholm, Duborg, they're all looking to fight their way in. I think it's going to be tough for all of them, to be honest. We might have our semi-final lineup already, but one more session to go. Well, for the last time this year, we're going to bring you our fantastic super slow-mo pictures. And what better way to start than with Matthias Ekstrom over the fantastic jump here at the brand new Cape Town Rallycross track. Sasha Martinengo, what are your thoughts about this?
Andrew, I think they've done a superb job. I know the drivers are loving it, and it's incredible. We're seeing this front-on shot, but they're actually coming at an angle from a sort of, you know, about 20 or 30 degrees, and they have to slide the car straight because you've got to go over straight. And you can just see the precision of these guys. Don't try this at home.
Definitely don't try this at home. We suspect some people may have tried it on the way out of the gravel car parks here yesterday. Yanis Balmanis, these pictures from free practice on Saturday morning. Latvian driver there in the dust. The surface here is full of dust decks. You can see it on the surface there. Just to keep that dust down, Kristofferson rotating the car. And this corner here, this is the inside hairpin sasha down at the Joker lap, and it's critical to get the car straight for the exit.
Well, this is the beautiful thing about Rallycross, Andrew, is that these guys create the angles for themselves, and they have to rotate that car as quickly as possible to get all four wheels in a straight line. It's an incredible art, and it's wonderful to see. And these slow-mos really show you, you know, how these guys use every part of the circuit, including the bollards.
The famous Riga curb, which was designed to be uncuttable, it turns out you can drive straight over the top of it. So I'm sure we'll be working on a taller one, but the drivers using the curb here. But we have seen as well, some of them, when they hook the curb just a little too much, they can end up with too much rotation. You can see, look at the deflection. The suspension on these cars is incredible.
These are works of art. They are beautiful, beautiful machines, incredibly technical as well. And you know what? It's not a cheap sport, let's be very honest, but you got the best drivers in the world in some of the most brilliant machinery.
Timozyanov through that same left-hander. Look at that, fully crossed up. This is as they come after the jump down the hill. They've got a tight right and left, and they're on the gas here because the Joker lap splits just after. They can split off to the right on the gravel down towards the tightening right-hand hairpin, which is the last corner on the standard lap. And then, of course, we've got that drag race up towards the finish. Timozyanov running a new livery. Traction good here. The drivers are all saying the grip's high, and some locals to cheer on as well.
Yeah, the locals have had a bit of a difficult time, but I think they've learnt a lot just looking at the pedigree of the drivers that are out here.
Marc Cronje doing well in the Albertech 208. Raced it in France before he came here to South Africa. Big sideways action from Kevin Eriksson. We can expect to see that all weekend.
That will end the qualifying for the supercars. Now that all done.
Here's how we stand ahead of the final qualifying session of 2017. Johan Kristofferson is currently in the top spot from Timmy Hansen and Ekstrom. Block, Bakkerud, Solberg a little way back in that battle with Ekstrom. Then it's Balmanis and Scheider. Loeb, Hansen, Timozyanov and Heikkinen are currently in. Both the Eriksson brothers trying to fight for their place. The first race of Q4 featured both the South African drivers, Ashley Haig-Smith getting the whole shot from Marc Cronje, but Haig-Smith then pulling off to the side of the track. That little bit of contact there you saw with Demoustier, unfortunately broke Demoustier steering, and that meant that Cronje was on a demonstration drive to the win. Race 2, Toppy Heikkinen with Balmanis on his inside, but Heikkinen getting a great start. Rennie Munich trying to go all the way around the outside, Toppy managing to hug the curbs and hold on to that top spot. This was the merge after the Joker lap had been done, and it was a win for Toppy. Q4 continues, 5-car lineup in this one. Let's have a look at the grid. Andreas Bakkerud on the inside from JB Dubourg, Niklas Gronholm, Ken Block, and then Kevin Hansen. Gronholm in P16, look, Dubourg P15, so they could do it trying to fight their way in. Kevin Hansen's in 10th, so he's close to the cut-off point. Block and Bakkerud are firmly in at the minute, which would be a good ending for the Hoonigan Racing division. It would be good to see both those folks make it through to the semi-finals here in South Africa. Fitting way to sign off the programme. I think maybe if Block had made it a little bit more often, perhaps we would have seen a different decision from Ford. But it's been fantastic to have them along for the ride for the last couple of seasons. And Bakkerud will be in demand. Big story over the winter. Where is he going to go? He'll be keen for a good result here. Revs up. Oh, it's an even start between all 5 cars. Everyone's got good traction. Gronholm being pushed big time between Dubourg and Block. He's released as Dubourg goes around the outside. Locked wheels around the outside. Kevin Hansen sends it. Yes, Kevin! Full tyre smoke into P1 in front of Bakkerud. Absolutely mega!
Unbelievable there from Hansen. Incredible the way he held that the car over there. And I tell you, the two hooligan cars as well, also chasing really, really hard. Bakkerud is the man to watch.
I can't believe that. The locked wheels we heard. I wonder if Kevin just got that completely wrong on the way in and then barred it to come around the outside of it. But that was a weapon of a start.
Unbelievable. Just also to keep it going straight in the straight line is unbelievable, the talent of these guys. Brilliant, brilliant racing. This now is the fine end when it comes to the racing. These guys are all going to make it in the top 12, but who's going to be the quickest in this Q4?
Absolutely fantastic. Kevin Hansen, who was in P10, looking to climb a couple of places. Ken Block's looking brilliant here. I say it's just such a shame they didn't manage to make the car work a little bit better, a little bit sooner. Bakkerud into the right-hander, Ken Block right behind him. Gronholm's on the pack too. Dubourg has dropped a little way off the back now.
He did take the Joker as well, so Dubourg was very clever on that first lap. Let the other guys bunch it up a little bit, but Gronholm got a bit of work to do, I've got to be honest.
So what would you do here? Would you joke to get out, or do you think you just follow on? I mean, I'm thinking these guys are quick enough that you might... Gronholm's gone for it. And that could be to protect his position from behind, because of course he had the worst of the starts. Let's watch Gronholm versus Dubourg. Remember, the line on the inside is different now, so will the drag race be different?
Gronholm's got him easily. Well done from Gronholm. I tell you, Block at the moment looks a little bit quicker than Bakkerud. I think he's got to go for the Joker, or one of them's got to go for the Joker. I wonder if they follow each other.
They might as well do a separate tactic, mightn't they, in case one of them has an issue. We talk about this a lot. Having said that, if the cars in front of you are quicker, you can follow. I mean, tough choice.
Exactly. I suppose the spotters are saying, listen, if the one does this, you do the other one.
Block carrying a lot of damage across the front of his car, so maybe that was from the run down the squeeze that we had on the way in. And we're dead right, so Block splits the strategy, heads to the Joker. Kevin Hansen continuing to lead from Bakkerud. Where's Block going to come out? He's got to protect that position behind, and I think he's done it. He has.
He's done a great job in that Joker lap as well, and don't forget in Q3 earlier on today, he made a mistake on that final lap. So let's see if he can keep it all tight over here. It's going to be close between himself and his teammate, Andreas Bakkerud.
Kevin Hansen is still in the lead. The target time at the moment is Toppy Hakenen's 2:55.7. We'll be able to see whether or not he will manage to match that. Stops the Peugeot beautifully. We were watching his style this morning, Sasha. He's so tidy, Kevin.
These Hansen boys, both of them are just incredible. Just holds on to it. Very, very precise. Let's see him going into the Joker lap. You'll see, look at the way he gets that car completely straight at a great angle. Oh, and now it's going to be Ken Block and Bakkerud.
It is going to be close between there. I think it's going to be Bakkerud who takes it. It is, but Kevin Hansen, look for the bottom right of your screen, target time 2:55.7. 2:54.8, great time by Kevin.
Wow, nearly a full second.
Block's off at the finish. Block spins at the finish. We saw Bakkerud do that yesterday. Ford are creating some great images at the finish line here. So Block spins over the line. He'll get the time. And the crowd will like that. Yes, Ken, that's more like it. Lovely stuff.
And you know,
not what he wanted, of course, but
what we've got to say is that final chicane going out there, you just cannot believe you don't really get the picture on television. It's an incredible
there's a bump, isn't there?
and quite a severe drop as well. Brilliant.
It's a crest right in the first corner of it. Look at the Bakkerud fan club going mad. But yeah, crest right in the first part of that chicane that can unsettle the car. Well, Kevin Hansen, who really unsettled the car in turn one, but pulled it off all the way around the outside, just like Kevin Eriksson. Andreas Bakkerud P2 from Ken Block, Gronholm and Dubourg. Block spinning over the line, doesn't look to have lost too much time. Kevin Hansen goes fastest. Bakkerud and Block look in third and fifth, so I think those guys are very, very safe in the semi-finals now. Good stuff. Right, let's watch Kevin Hansen on the outside here. So the Peugeot, look, he's fully lit. Block is squeezing. There's contact between all four cars on the inside.
That was incredible.
Outrageous.
Unbelievable. I mean, that would make any world drifter a very, very proud person. Brilliant driving.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely fantastic. That is the start of the season. Well, the first corners, basically, that's Kevin Eriksson. Him and Kevin Eriksson, that's pretty even now in terms of skills.
I wouldn't be surprised if even Peter Solberg was clapping his hands going, well done, young boy. Well done, young boy.
Absolutely. Definitely. Brilliant, brilliant drive. So Kevin Hansen, who was in P10 when we started Q3, has definitely cemented his place in the semi-finals. I wonder how high up he can get setting a time like that. Great stuff. Oh, big spin for Block over the line, look, with the throttle on full as well to try and hold it on. Fantastic
it's just beautiful
job
to watch. I'm sure we're going to see Block here. Yeah, it just catches the inside curb and gets it completely sideways. Keeps it out of the wall. Brilliant. Well done to him.
Had the steering angle on to pull it all the way around as well. That's the Gymkhana stuff that does that. So great show by Ken Block and his teammate Bakkerud over the line yesterday.
A great first corner move, a great race and a great time. You look very happy.
I'm so happy. That was so much fun. I can't believe that worked around the outside. So yeah, very pleased. I had a good run and I really needed it after some strange track conditions in Q3. So to get the win in front of 2 factory Fords is really great and get the fastest time. So brilliant to be here.
I look forward to seeing you in the semis.
Yeah, great. Thank you. See you there.
Absolutely stunning location. That is Table Mountain, towering above beautiful Cape Town in South Africa for the final round of the 2017 FIA World Rallycross Championship. What a place to finish. Q4 race 4, Timo Scheider, Timur Timosyanov, Kevin Eriksson, Rainer Snittisch and Oliver Eriksson. So we've got the brothers in here and teammates as well. So double pressure for Kevin Eriksson because he's got his teammate Timo Scheider and his brother Oliver Eriksson. There's 2 cars he can't really hit, but we'll see what happens. Oliver Eriksson is on the bubble in P13. Where's Rainer Snittisch? Snittisch is down in 17th. Kevin Eriksson is in 14th. So there's a lot to play for here. Timosyanov is just in 11th, and at the minute Scheider's well in 8th. So a lot of stories here. Let's see if he can pull this one out of the bag. The marshal leaves the track. There's your ready to race light, top left. Watch for it to go out. Green light, even start, good start for Scheider on the inside and for Kevin Eriksson. They look to have got the RPM perfect. Timosyanov slots in behind, Snittisch too. Eriksson's going to try another round the outside move. Snittisch up on the back of Oliver Eriksson. 2-wheeling all the way down into turn 1. We've never seen that before. He rode the car all the way in. It's Scheider that leads from Timosyanov and Eriksson.
It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. The guy was just carried on going with 2 wheels, his back wheels in the air. Incredible stuff. Timo Scheider is the man to watch it. Nittis, unfortunately, I think he's out of the race. He's gone.
Oh, well, yeah, he is. He's parked it in turn 1. I've never, ever seen a car ride another car like that for so long into a corner. That was crazy. There
he's got it going again. Somebody's gone off as well.
We've got to spin. Who is it? It's Timosyanov. Timosyanov. He's hit the tyres. So Timosyanov's hit one of the bales, and Nittisch has got the car going again. Nittisch in front of the commentary position has just gone over the jump and has got the car going again. Okay, right. Oliver Eriksson taking a joke lap. Let's get back to racing. Timo Scheider leads from his teammate Kevin Eriksson. Oliver Eriksson behind them, super sideways. Here is Scheider up and over the jump. I hope we're going to see some more of him next year. He's been impressive on his full debut season in Rallycross. Timosyanov still going 2 despite the spin, has just passed over the jump as well. So the field now really spread out. And of course the tyre bales, well, I don't know if that will really affect the time. What do you think, Sasha?
I don't think it's going to be too much. They're a little bit offline as well. I mean, they don't want to get, you know, that's right at the apex. They want to get out of there. But the Eriksson boys, this is a great chance for them. You know, they're both in the bubble there. Whoa, very close to the curve there from Timo Scheider. Wow, he could have really lost it there.
We was using all the track yesterday, wasn't he? We spent some time up the Tengtil Spotters Tower, which is directly over that last chicane, and you could see he was fully comfortable with using all the track. In fact, Scheider crashed it in the recce laps on the first day, came over the jump, ran a bit too wide, tagged the end of the barrier and ended up in the barrier. That was on his birthday, so not an ideal birthday present, but he's putting on a real show now. Say P8, you know, he's looking to get himself right up there.
Well, I've got to say, well done to Nittis, and it's incredible how strong these cars are.
Yeah.
I can't believe, after going 2 wheels, and all of a sudden he's still actually in the race.
Not like Formula 1, is it, Sasha?
No, they'd all be broken and someone would be crying quite right. Somebody would be blaming somebody else now. Oh, there would be an inquiry.
There might be some inquiries after this, but at the minute, no tears that we know of. Scheider continuing to lead on the last lap from turn 1 to turn 2. The gap is saying 2.4, so we're saying Oliver Eriksson's come out in front of Kevin Eriksson, so that would be brother in front of brother. I don't know how happy you would be about that, but let's see. So Scheider goes to the joke lap. Eriksson's going to go in with him. Oliver Eriksson on the standard lap, around on the inside, super sideways. I think he's too early, personally.
Way too early. He's going to have to correct that.
Look at that, though. Oh, and he does. Clips the tyres. No, don't beach it. Don't beach it. No, Oliver. Oh, Scheider takes the win. Oliver Eriksson.
Well, that's blown all of his chance of getting the top 12. His car's on 1 wheel.
Well, he was desperate to beat his older brother, and unfortunately, all he's done is beaten the car up a bit. So that is a real shame for Oliver Eriksson, who was P13 as well. That would have been a good chance of just making it.
He was right on the bubble.
I thought it was too early to. Oh, go on, keep trying.
You've got to love racing
finish
drivers.
it. Yeah, it's never over, is it? It's never over. Okay, that's that's officially one of the maddest World RX races we've had in quite a long time. We've had an endo all the way into turn 1. And now we've got a supercar beached on the tyre belt down the bottom. So Double wave yellows is about right, to be honest.
This is exciting stuff, man. That's mad. Brilliant.
Welcome to the World Rallycross Championship, Sasha.
I'm convinced.
Oliver Ericsson's car down there in the gravel trap, beached. He climbs out. Here's the result of Q4 Race 4. Scheider takes it from Kevin Eriksson, Timosyanov, Nitish and Oliver Eriksson with the DNF. And then look, you can see them slotting in there. Scheider and Eriksson up in 2nd and 4th. So Oliver Eriksson would have stood to be a long way up the order, and that might have seen him through to the semi-finals. But there you go. That is the way in the World Rallycross Championship. Let's have a look at turn 1. So what happens to Nitish in here?
Well, it's just incredible. I mean, it goes in really hot, and he actually gets bumped by Eriksson and climbs onto the back of
Here we
the
go,
other
here we
car.
go.
There we go.
Looked up. Listen to the crowd. That was pretty much the reaction in here.
It's just magic. Listen, you've got to say, you've got to keep your concentration, Andrew, and Scheider did a great job because there was just chaos happening all around him. And then, got very, very close again. Oliver Eriksson, I think it was just an accident waiting to happen. I hate to say it, but that's what happened.
See, this is the bail that Tim hit earlier on. So Tim has hit the bail and then goes all the way around the gravel trap on the inside. When we see Oliver come down, I thought, he's actually moved the tyres back out the way. So watch for Oliver Eriksson here on the inside line. He looks like he's gone super sideways too early. I know he didn't see, but I thought he then had it lined up and he just tagged the tyres. He's kept the throttle buried. He knew he needed the merge. Here we go, watch this. He's out, he's out, he's out. He straightens the car up, but just too much. So there you go.
And he knew he was racing against the clock, unfortunately.
Racing against his brother, racing against a chance for the semi-finals. Good effort, Oliver.
Timo, you started the season with a very impressive debut back in Barcelona. It looks like you're going to end the season in the semis again. How was that?
Yeah, it would be nice. So we have a decent weekend so far. A bit unlucky in Q2 with 2 punctures, but the pure performance was pretty nice all weekend long so far. And yeah, with 2 wins and a 2nd place and a 3rd, it was nice to come here, and I guess we make it to the semis.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you, have fun.
Well, the last qualifying race of the 2017 FIA World Rallycross Championship is on the line, and my goodness me, what a lineup. There are 14 FIA World Championship titles between these guys. On the inside, Darren Kristofferson, the current World Rallycross champion. Matthias Ekström, last year's World Rallycross champion. Timmy Hansen, 2nd after Q3. He's right up there. He's desperate to take the win here. He's had one every season so far. Sebastian Loeb, 9 World Rally Championships. Petter Solberg, 1 World Rally Championship, 2 World Rallycross titles. This is a fitting way to end the qualifying stages of a brilliant season. Can't wait for this, Sasha. Who's your money on?
Well, I gotta say, Timmy Hansen. I don't know why. Solberg's going to be crazy.
You've been on the money today.
But Hansen is the man to watch here. I think he's really, really the youngster amongst them all. It's going to be a phenomenal race, that's for sure.
Here we go then. The marshal points the green flag at each one of these legends. Moves out of the way, ready to release them down towards turn 1. Here we go. Brilliant start by Hansen in the middle of the grid. Kristofferson hasn't got quite such a good one. Loeb moves across to the inside, but I think Kristofferson may have the inside line contact between Solberg and Ekström. Timmy Hansen around the outside, just like his brother Kevin. A little bit of handbrake. Who's out on the outside? It's Solberg's gone off on the outside, so it's Hansen from Loeb. Kristofferson makes it through to P3, and it is Solberg who rejoins at the back. So Timmy Hansen doing a similar move to Kevin and getting the whole shot.
A brilliant start there from Hansen as well. And Solberg, we know he's just so aggressive, but he got too aggressive there and unfortunately lands himself at the back. But it's so close between them. Who's going to go for the joke?
Kristofferson and Solberg. They both go. So both of the VWs go on the same lap. They want to get out of the traffic. So Hansen leading low. Who's going to be tidy through? A white roof, of course, for Kristofferson, black roof for Solberg. And they are now on the gas back down the straight. We're looking at, we think, a gap of around 3 seconds. And of course, this is all about who's going to get the final top qualifier spot of the year. At the minute, it is Kristofferson, who is in TQ.
And also, I mean, you've got to look at Ekström versus Solberg. That's what the championship for 2nd position. That's what it's all about. So psychological. This is a huge race for the 2 drivers. That joker lap is going to be critical in the last lap of this race. That's for sure.
Hansen through the left-hander. Is anybody going to go this lap? Will Ekström go and try and protect himself? Because Kristofferson's already on the back. I don't think he is, so I think Ekström's going to get swallowed up here. But the VWs are absolutely flying. They're right back up with the pack in front. The dust flies from the inside lap. Solberg straightening the car out early, trying to find some traction. Look at the dust coming down the straight now as well. Ekström moving the car around in that tricky brake zone. There's a really good shot of that crest through that chicane.
It's just amazing. A little bit of a clip there from Solberg as well. But everyone's really, really close. And they still got Loeb. He still has to do the Joker lap, and Hansen and Ekstrom.
Okay, here we go. Predictor down at the bottom. Timmy Hansen, your leader, to Kristofferson, and at the minute it's saying Kristofferson would take it. So Kristofferson, who's currently P4, would take it. Will they send Timmy? Now they should, to protect it, surely, but they don't. So I think it would have been good there to send Timmy Hansen, because they knew that Ekstrom was in front and potentially holding up Kristofferson, and I think that's going to cost him. I think Kristofferson's going to get him.
I think he's going to get him as well, and Kristofferson had to do it because he was getting badly held up from Loeb. I think Loeb was trying to protect Hansen.
Ekstrom and Solberg. Ekstrom's up the inside. Look at that, super sideways, one way then the other, just about holds on. So Ekstrom is in front of Solberg, and that would mean that he will out-qualify him here in South Africa. He was 3 places ahead of him prior to this session. So we'll find out in just a couple of minutes, literally, who's going to take an advantage into the semi-finals and the finals for P2 in the championship.
It's going to be very close. We got the world champion, Darren Kristofferson, who's in 3rd at the moment, 3 seconds ahead of Hansen.
But Timmy Hansen was showing on the predictor there that he might take it, so this is going to be absolutely crucial. Watch for Kristofferson on the inside, Timmy Hansen on the outside with Loeb. Hansen's a bit wide of the apex, but straightens the car up early. Hansen on the gas, he's done it, so Timmy Hansen is going to take this one from the world champion Kristofferson. Sebastian Loeb gets into P3. Ekstrom and Solberg for that P2 are down way back, and it is a 2:53.4. Hansen wins Q4 with a brilliant drive in the final race. He has beaten all the world champions.
I think this guy's going to have the biggest smile in his face. That was a brilliant drive from Hansen. Again, so much experience. Classic.
Well, we think Kristofferson might have hit the tyres on the inside. Timmy Hansen taking it 2:53.4 from Johan Kristofferson, a 2:54.3. So he definitely lost some time on that last lap. So we'll have a look back and see if we see that in the replays. Sebastian Loeb P3, Ekstrom P4, and Solberg in P5. This is where they slot in. Timmy Hansen wins Q4, so we've had, that's his 2nd qualifying win, of course. He won Q1 as well. Johan Kristofferson is 2nd, then Hansen, Scheider, Loeb, Heikkinen, Eriksson and Ekstrom are your top 8. We'll find out shortly who takes the top qualifier spot. Well, let's take a look back at that fantastic last qualifying race of the season. So Solberg was sideways off the line, Loeb goes inside, but watch Timmy Hansen.
He really was brilliant, and I mean, he just hit that handbrake so well and just drifted it right round the corner. That was a spectacular piece of driving. Solberg, it seems as though he maybe
even more around the outside,
I don't think he hit the handbrake.
He nearly hit the wall, but he held on somehow. Hansen, though, with the whole shot, and Loeb behind him. Say, I really thought Kristofferson was going to get him, but we think Kristofferson might have made a mistake. So let's see if we can spot if he hits the tyres on the last lap. We see one of the cars shedding a little bit of bodywork in the background. This was formation flying for Peugeot, wasn't it? Loeb right up behind Hansen. Lovely job.
It was great to watch that as well, and there we go. We see exactly how close they were. Those are the 2 protagonists for 2nd place, so brilliant.
Watch for Kristofferson on the inside. Does he clip the tyres? Yes, he does. I don't know, yeah, okay, affected the angle. I have to say, I think Hansen would have got him anyway, but Timmy Hansen takes the final race off Q4. With that, he wins Q4, his 2nd session of the weekend.
I'm taking this race as any other, and we haven't won yet this year in Peugeot, so I'd like to sign off the year with a win for them.
Let's hope it happens. Thank you.
Thank you.
Qualifying then is done, and here are the standings after Q4. It is Johan Kristofferson who holds on to the top qualifier spot despite Timmy Hansen winning 2 of the 4 sessions. You can see there that Hansen had the worst session in Q2. Ekstrom is P3, Scheider, Bakkerud, Block and Solberg. So championship points there between Ekstrom and Solberg will be extended by 4. Kevin Hansen in P8. Baumanis, Loeb, Heikkinen and Kevin Eriksson are your top 12. So Timosyanov, Dubois, Gronholm, Eriksson and everyone beneath have not made it through to the semi-finals at the end of this year.
Yes, that's a remote control on the X-Legend that's there. Someone's actually remote controlling it from the outside.
Beautiful weather here in South Africa for the final round of the World Rallycross Championship. We are watching Terry Grant here do some donuts. You are looking at a stunning view of Table Mountain in the distance. What a wonderful venue. What a brilliant event we've had. Neil Cole is down with Hoonigan Racing Division, and of course this is the last time we're going to be seeing them with the Ford Focus RS-RX. So let's hear what they've got to say about 2 brilliant years in this series.
Well, happy to be in the semi. Fun track, great crowd this weekend. So looking forward to trying to get it in the final. It's a goal at this point.
And of course, the good news is the night is
Yeah, that's true. Like we just picked out.
Well, apologies there for the sound problems. You can hear we've got a few engines and things starting up. That is the pre-grid underneath the Cooper Tyres arch. That's where they check the tyres before they go out to make sure they're the ones that have been registered for this event. Of course, they've only had 8 tyres, and this track has got a very, very long right-hander. You see the two Hansen brothers down there. Alongside me this weekend, Sasha Martinengo, who is, of course, the F1 commentator down here in South Africa. Sasha, how's this compared to F1? Now, I know you love F1. You know, I've maybe thrown you under the bus there.
No, listen, I love it because you don't get too many yellow flags over here, and there's not so much moaning. People just get on with it. You know what I mean? Rubbing is racing, Andrew. It's just brilliant. I'm loving every second of it.
It's great having you here with us. And what I'm really impressed with, Sasha, and of course it's always a bit of an unknown quantity. We come to a new country and we're never sure if the fans are going to turn up. Yeah, the grandstands are pretty much full around this entire place. And there's tons of people wandering around looking at the cars on show, you know, Brying, I believe it's called, isn't it?
That people are loving. This is what motorsport is about in South Africa. We've got such a great culture, and it's so wonderful that you guys have brought this formula here. It is just so wonderful. Everyone is loving it, lapping up all of the action and seeing the true greats of World Rallycross.
One of the true greats getting into his car, Matthias Ekstrom there. He is locked in battle, remember, with Petter Solberg for P2 in the driver's title. And of course, we've got that last top step of the podium to be stood on for 2017. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be great.
Big action to come your way. I don't know, really money's on. Maybe we should go to the crowd quickly and have a look and see.
Well, we've had our calendar for 2018 arranged, announced, if you like. Let's have a little look and see where we're headed next year. We're quite excited, well, we're very excited about the whole thing, but particularly about round 10. So Barcelona, Portugal, Belgium, Great Britain, Norway, Sweden, Canada, France and Latvia. You will, of course, be familiar with all the tracks we've been going to for the last couple of seasons. And then we're headed to the Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas in America. Very much looking forward to that. They're building a brand new rallycross track there. Back to the Estering at Germany for a traditional event, and then we're coming here to South Africa again to finish off the season in the sunshine. It will be a brilliant season. 2 drivers who we don't know where they're going to be next year. They haven't had their drives confirmed are the Hansen brothers, and Neil is with them now.
So, Kevin Hansen, Timmy Hansen, the great news is that you're both with Sebastian Loeb in the semi-finals. The bad news is you're all in the same semi-final. How do you deal with that?
I think we all got to do our own job, but still, I think it's really possible that it will be 3 Peugeots going through from this semi.
Okay. And what about you, Kevin? A really good performance so far this weekend. In fact, you've both been copying each other in terms of moves.
Yeah, Q4 was great, and I saw Timmy did the same when I went back to the 10, so yeah, really much fun. Now for the semis, it's great to be another semi for me, and being in the middle row and the outside is very challenging, but I have Timmy on the first place and Seb just behind me, so it will be very interesting. I will try to do a good job and make sure Timmy is safe to turn 1.
Now, it's a very interesting atmosphere for the last round of the season, and I know you guys, and you in particular, really want something from today. Tell us what that is.
I want to win. Peugeot has won at least one event every year since they joined the World Championship, and we haven't won yet this season. So today's the last chance, and we want to get up on the top step.
Okay. All the best, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
He does want a win. Of course, Bakkerud wants a win as well. Those two are the 2 key people who haven't had a victory this year. They've won an event every season they've been in World Rallycross. Peugeot and Ford as well. Of course, Peugeot have been here longer than Ford have, but you know, a dip in form this season, and they'd love to finish on a high, Sasha.
Well, I got to say, I've been so impressed by the Hansen boys so far this weekend. Timmy and Kevin, especially in Q3 and Q4. So they must be brimming with confidence. They also they need a win for themselves as well.
3 cars in the same semi-final, nightmare tactically. I mean, you know, Timmy says confidently 3 Peugeots going through. If they pull that off, they'll be over the moon.
That would be over the moon, but I mean, you combined age of the 2 Hansen brothers gets up to Sebastian Loeb. So they're up against one of the greatest, if not the greatest person to ever drive a racing car. So yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Grandstands filling up. They are getting ready for what we are getting ready for, which of course is the last semi-finals and final of 2017. not just World RX, but of course we've got the last round of Rx2 as well. Going to be fantastic.
2 from Norway, 1 from Latvia, and 1 from Switzerland. And they go through Lars Valmanis and Thomas Heikkinen. It's only going to be the top 3 that's going to go through from the 6 guys that's
Well, what a debut Cape Town RX has made. We are down in South Africa for the only FIA World Rallycross, well, World Championship event, in fact, to take place in sub-Saharan Africa, and it's gone down a storm here. We've got so many people watching. We've had some brilliant action on what the drivers say is a fantastic layout. Absolutely loving it. My name is Andrew Coley. Alongside me is Sasha Martinengo, who is South Africa's F1 expert. We're gently, if you can gently introducing someone, introducing him to the world of Rallycross. Sasha.
It is just the most fun I've had for a long, long time. So wonderful to be here in South Africa.
So this is how they qualified. Johan Kristofferson taking the top qualifier spot. And of course that is an absolutely outrageous record of 6 TQs in one season. That is a new record. He held the record previously. It was 5 before that. Timmy Hansen, Matthias Ekström, Timo Scheider, Bakkerud, Block, Solberg, Kevin Hansen, Baumanis, Loeb, Heikkinen and Eriksson are the top 12. They go through. Of course, odds go to semi-final 1, evens to semi-final 2. And remember, Ekström and Solberg are up for P2, are both in semi-final number 1. But the man who is in that top qualifier spot is, of course, Johan Kristofferson. Neil caught up with him earlier.
Johan, another record broken, your top qualifier again, and show us you have a new helmet.
Yeah, exactly. It was a present actually from Monster with yeah, golden on the top and pretty cool VW brand there, and of course my number 1 finger. So yeah, nice.
Do you think it'll bring you good luck today, because it's going to be quite a hectic semi-final?
Yeah, hopefully. The first heat, when I used it for the first time this morning, I won, so that was good. And yeah, we'll see. The semi-final is very hectic, and both Petter and Matthias in the same semi-final, and also Bakkerud straight from behind. So yeah, we'll see. I'm pretty sure it's going to be hectic, but it's nice in such a situation to have the championship wrapped up.
Thank you. Good luck.
Kristofferson sporting a new race suit this weekend with Solberg as well, and we're looking very cool in African spec, having won the team's championship. We've still got some things to tie up though, so here is what we've got coming for you in the next hour. First of all, of course, we have the 2 World Rallycross Championship semi-finals. The top 3 go through, the bottom 3 will go no further. Then we have the last Rx2 Final of the year, P2 in that championship up for grabs. It's between Rook and Derrida. And then we have the last World RX Final of the year. Is Solberg or Ekström going to take P2 in the championship? And who is going to take the last win of the year? The cars are on the grid, and look at that. It is an incredible view from the start down towards Table Mountain. The Monster Energy girls are down there baking in the sunshine. High 20s here. This is the lineup for semi-final number 1. On pole, the world champion, Johan Kristofferson. Next to him, the outgoing champion, Matthias Ekström. Looks like 3 new tyres for Johan Kristofferson. Next row, Andreas Bakkerud and Petter Solberg. We've had quite a bit of rivalry between those boys. Solberg, of course, the double World Rallycross champion. And at the back, Yannis Baumanis and Topi Heikkinen, all on used tyres. They'll be looking keen to make a good result here, looking for a drive next season. Good to go. Very, very hot indeed. Monster Energy girls are coming off the grid. We're about to lose the marshal. Sasha, very quickly, who's your money on? You've had brilliant bets all day long.
I got to say, Kristofferson really impressed me, especially coming into Q4. But going into turn 1, that is really going to be hairy. Somebody could do something on the outside.
Let's have a look and see. 2 semi-finals to go for 2017. This is the first of those. Who's going to book a slot in the last final of the year? Ready to race. Here we go. Pretty even start across the grid. Solberg moves moves across towards the inside. Bakkerud, I think, is up the inside of Ekstrom. He's not. Ekstrom shuts the door on him, so Kristofferson leading from Ekstrom. Baumanis gets into the back of Solberg 2-3 times through turn 1, but it is Kristofferson who goes into turn 2 in the lead. Oh, and that says that Solberg was having a look there, trying to get past Bakkerud, but couldn't quite get alongside him, so Bakkerud in P3.
I tell you, a great start, and everybody really holding on to themselves very well. Look at the gap already between Kristofferson and Ekstrom. Unbelievable. Who's going to go in the Joker lap here? Two of them go at the end there. Baumanis and Heikkinen, or Solberg and Baumanis go into the Joker lap.
So Kristofferson with a great start there. He just stayed out of trouble through turn 2, and you can see the other guy squabbling just a little bit. It's giving him a few car lengths. That's exactly what he needs, and now he's just got to check out and go. I think he'll wait towards the end of the race to do the Joker. Solberg's had to go, hasn't he, because he just didn't get what he wanted at the start.
Didn't work out for him. Ekstrom looking very solid in second position there as well. But Kristofferson, that's why he's the world champion. He's just so perfect in everything he does.
He gets it right absolutely everywhere. The only place he had an off event was last time out in Germany, and we could forgive him that. He'd won the world title 2 weeks before and had been ferried off all around Europe, basically, you know, celebrating that title on television and radio. So he is back in full focus mode and looking to break more records or set more records. He holds most. Bakkerud runs deep, and so does Ekstrom. Ekstrom's in the tyre wall. Bakkerud runs deep. Solberg and Heikkinen here trying to figure out the grip levels, and of course they've watered the track to keep the dust down. You can see all the drivers are struggling with it, Sasha.
They are. All of a sudden the traction is completely different. Solberg 4 seconds off the pace at the moment. Bakkerud is only 2 seconds ahead of Solberg. That Joker lap is going to come into something really big towards the end of this race.
So 2.1 seconds is what we think the Joker is now. It was 3 before, and the Joker hasn't got faster. The standard lap is a little slower because they put a couple of tyre bales on the inside. So 2 seconds is around what you're looking for. But Kristofferson, Ekstrom, Bakkerud, where's Solberg behind them? Solberg sends it up over the curves. He's in full attack mode here, and he wants to get on the back of these 3 because they haven't jokered Sasha. He could put himself through to the front row.
I think he's going to do that with absolute ease. I really do. Look at that sideways. Lost a little bit of time over there, but Ekstrom and Bakkerud, these guys are going to have to go and do a Joker very quickly.
I'm wondering whether or not they'll go. Looking now that Heikkinen is 3.8 off the leader, so in theory Kristofferson and Ekstrom could go now, and they know they'd come out at least in front of Heikkinen. Solberg at plus 2.5. Him and Ekstrom are going to be so close. Here we go. The predictor's going to tell us what he thinks. 2.1. He thinks it's going to be too close to call, is what that says.
It is unbelievable. Look at the commitment from all of the drivers. Don't forget 6 laps now in the semi-finals as opposed to 4 in the others. It's Kristofferson from Ekstrom at the moment. Bakkerud holds on to it, but Solberg, I think, is in a great position.
None of them have gone to the Joker either, so everybody holding on for later in the race. Solberg can't quite seem to make up the time. Everybody's struggling for traction out that hairpin as well, which we haven't seen today where it's been dry, but I'm glad they watered it. It'd be good for the fans to be able to see the action. Look at that. It gives you a really good idea. The crest dip through that last chicane is really marked.
It is something very special to actually see. On TV, doesn't really give you the commitment that the drivers are actually going through in that final chicane, but it dips down. The braking is really hard. We're into the second last now. Kristofferson, Eriksson, Bakkerud, and Solberg. Really, he's struggling to break that 2.7 second gap, and he really needs to get closer to Bakkerud. Is one of them going to go for it? No.
Well, I'm really surprised here that Ekstrom didn't take the Joker, because behind Kristofferson here, Kristofferson could, in theory, back Ekstrom in, and that would mean then that Solberg would take the advantage. So will Kristofferson play that team player's part? But of course, he also wants to make sure he puts his slot in the final 2. So we'll see. Solberg doesn't look to me to have been able to close that gap down too much. I mean, 2.7, okay. He's going to get Bakkerud. Yes, he's going to get Bakkerud when Bakkerud jokers. Ekstrom, Solberg at the minute. Okay, it's saying that Solberg would get him by 2/10, so maybe Kristofferson doesn't need to back him up.
It's going to be very close. People say they only use team tactics in Formula 1. They use it all over the place.
Well, we think there might be a bit of support going on here this weekend, specifically to get him second place. Here we go. Kristofferson and Ekstrom into the Joker. Bakkerud goes 2. There's only 3 slots in that final from this semi-final. You can hear the crowd going mad down at the bottom end. Here we go, on the gas, and Kristofferson does back Ekstrom up. Kristofferson backs him up and puts him into Solberg. Contact between them. Massive contact. Ekstrom up the inside, over the grass. What's going to happen is Ekstrom's going to take P2, and that's and the tyres go flying in the background. That's naughty. So he backed him up big time there, and then Ekstrom didn't like it. Tried to go through up the inside, tagged him again, and ends up cutting the last corner. The crowd love it, but I'm wondering what the stewards are going to say about track limits. Was Ekstrom forced into that, Sasha?
Well, I tell you, that was a really difficult one for Ekstrom. He didn't have anywhere else to go. He had to go.
He did
through the tyres over there. It would be very harsh if they give him a penalty for that.
I think so.
But the stewards are definitely going to have a look at it. I'd love to be in the paddock after this, because I think there's going to be some crazy faces. brilliant.
I kind of hope we might see all three of them in the press conference. Then we can have an interesting chat afterwards. That'll be the most watched press conference ever if that happens. Wow, okay, well, there you go. Those guys, remember, these are the only guys to hold World Rallycross titles. We were Ekstrom, the ex-champion, Kristofferson, the current, and Solberg, the guy who won the previous two. They've all gone through to the final, so absolutely brilliant. Kristofferson goes through then with Ekstrom and Solberg. As it stands, Ekstrom would take one more point there, and of course, remember, they're all crucial. We think he's 3 points ahead as it stands now after qualifying, so that will put him 4 points ahead of Solberg. You can do the maths as well. It's very complicated. Neil Cole is with Tommy Kristofferson, so I'm guessing he's up in the 10 tool spotters tower. Let's go and find Neil wherever he is with Tommy.
Tommy, great job as ever by Johan, but in that very last section of the last lap, do you think it was all fair? It was chaos.
Yeah, it was chaos. We couldn't see anything from where we're standing because it was so dusty. So I only get the call to Johan that it will be closed from the exit, so he should watch up, and I couldn't see anything from down there. So, but otherwise it was great. It was a great start, and managed everything perfect, stay in front. So that was good. Now we have the final to look forward to.
Of course, it was very important for Johan to help Petter in the championship to try and get Petter into second. Do you think that's what caused that bunching up at the end?
Oh, difficult to say because I didn't see the last corner, so I don't know what happened on the last corner. But for sure, we like to be a team like we have been all the year. So for sure we'll try that. But I couldn't see exactly what happened, to be honest.
See you in the final. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Tommy couldn't see exactly what happened from the spots tab because of the dust. And nicely asked by Neil there with bunching up. So nobody admitting to anything here. Let's have a look back at the action up towards turn one. They were very, very clean and sensible in turn one, Sasha.
I must say, for the first time this weekend, they were very sensible. It was great to watch, and then it actually turned into a really, really good race.
It did indeed, yeah. I mean, Kristofferson is, say, leading at this point with a lovely gap over the others. And Solberg, yeah, having to think tactically. I'm surprised in some ways they didn't say it to Ekstrom, just take a joker when Kristofferson doesn't, because by going in with him, you kind of knew that he was going to be able to do this. But he'd separated himself from him, but then look how close the other cars are behind. What do you do?
Very much so. And I think they've all been caught out on the normal track after it has been watered. The traction is not quite the same over there as well. So losing a bit of time. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of words discussed, and apologies to Mr. Kristofferson, but I've heard that story somewhere before in motor racing, that's for sure.
Let's have a look at this moment again. So watch Kristofferson now here. He comes in and he almost stops the car on the apex. Look, Ekstrom then goes for the gap, just gets into the dirt. The crowd go absolutely mad. Ekstrom, of course, is trying to carry enough speed, gets into Solberg, and then misses his braking point over the dip. So, I don't know. I don't know.
He might have been pushed into that, so let's see.
Wow, okay. Well, there you go. That's semi-final one from Cape Town. That didn't disappoint, did it? We've got another one still to come.
Well, there was 400ths of a second, guys, between Ekstrom and Solberg.
You're looking at Table Mountain. We are calming ourselves down after semi-final number one and considering the rules. Of course, the rules are that the advantage is in theory with the main track, not the joker track. So should Ekstrom give him way? I don't know. We'll see. Neil Cole is down with the guys from Hoonigan Racing Division. Let's hear from them.
So, Dave, Forrest, a big kind of emotional weekend for you guys because it is the last time we'll see Hoonigan for performance in this kind of setup. First of all, from your perspective, how was that race for Andreas?
Yeah, it was tough. Like, we've been struggling for speed all weekend. We started really well, like Q1, Q2. Yesterday was good, and today it somehow got more slippery, even though it got drier. It's just the sand coming onto and the dirt coming onto the tarmac that's made it hard for us. And he gave everything he had. Petter did a remarkable job of getting in and out the joker on lap one, and that just put a lot of pressure on Andreas then, and we couldn't counter that. So I think his joker on lap one was somewhere around 2.1 seconds on that split, and Andreas's was 2.9 on a running lap. So we didn't have anything. We had to hope that he makes a slight mistake or comes under attack, and then we would have been even closer to being able to get out in front of him, but nothing we could do. So
disappointing for Andreas, but the great thing is you're able to feed that feedback immediately to Forrest, who will be spotting for Ken. So what have you learnt about the way the circuit is now, the traction, to help Ken in his semi-final?
Yeah, I mean, we know they've watered a bit, mostly offline. Definitely in the second gravel section, looks a little slippery.
starting in the same position. We've been having good launches, so ideally if we can get to P2 by corner 2, we're in a little bit better spot. Even if we're in P3, I don't think we really want to joker right away, just because of the conditions. Andreas had a lot of mud and stuff coming up on his windscreen from that area. And traditionally, we do better with Ken when we're out in clear air. So I think we might hold back and not joker until the guys behind us do. And that's really how we build our strategy. So.
And I think, obviously, going early on the joker, you could get caught behind the guys like who've already jokered. So
let's hope we see one of you, the Hoonigans, in the final. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is a great view of the brand new Rallycross track here in South Africa. We've had national rally cars heading around it as well, of course, as the World Rallycross Championship in Rx2, so we're hoping that we might see some young drivers inspired by some pretty brilliant racing so far this week. And that was semi-final one. Semi-finals very rarely disappoint because everybody is desperate to book that place in the final.
Well, there's only 3 of them that can go through, but this crowd must be lapping up every second of what they're seeing at the moment.
I'll bet they are. Not too long until we're going to release these guys to the grid. They will be very hot sitting in those cars. Let's hope they keep a cool head on the run down to turn 1 and indeed for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way, actually.
Tyre warming going on for semi-final number 2. They're releasing the cars up to that. There goes Timo Scheider. This is actually Scheider's best qualifying performance since Barcelona at the start of the year when he was top qualifier. So Scheider doing very well to go into P4. That puts him on the front row in semi-final number 2. And of course he's alongside Timmy Hansen. Timmy would love to win here, he really would. Behind him, of course, there is Ken Block. He hasn't got to deal with Bakkerud, of course, he's the other guy I think is most keen to take a win here, just because they've held that record for the last couple of seasons. 3 Peugeots in here, they're going to have to really watch what they do, Sasha.
They are, I mean, they haven't won this year so far. It's going to be the last race for Bakkerud as well as Ken Block as well, so they also want something really, really special. This is, you couldn't ask for more of a dream lineup than this.
And it's quite cool. I mean, I know P2's up for grabs in the championship, but, you know, most of these guys are not in that fight and don't really care. You know, Bakkerud said all the spares are with them. You know, they're never using the cars again, which is a bit over the top, but I know what he means. Basically, they're all going to try quite hard. You know, the Hansen brothers, these are 2 brilliant Rallycross drivers. We know Loby's with Peugeot next year. We're not sure about them, and I really, really hope to see them in top cars. They're so highly rated. Let's take a look at the grid for semi-final number 2. Timmy Hansen on pole, next to him Timo Scheider. 1 new tyre for Scheider. On the rear left, it looks like Ken Block and Kevin Hansen. 1 new tyre for Ken as well. And then bringing up the rear, Sebastian Loeb and Kevin Eriksson. No new tyres for them. So has anybody saved tyres, or is this track quite hard on the boots with that very, very long-term one? So will the Peugeots make it all 3 through? We've got Scheider and Eriksson teammates in here as well. Ken Block is the only man who can be a lone operator in this. Block would love to make it through to the final. He hasn't made a final this year, and of course this is the last time we're going to see him as a full-time driver in the World Rallycross Championship in the Focus RS-RX. What can he do here? We know the car works well. He's had a good on-form weekend. Ready to race light out, look for the green. Here we go, great start by Ken Block, huge traction from the Peugeot, shuts the door, Scheider moves across and in contact between here and Scheider. Twice, 3 times now, they're absolutely in each other's doors. Loeb is in the back bumper of Block. Block runs a little bit wide, Sebastian Loeb up the inside. Go on, Ken, push through. Oh, Ken gets in, but there's a spin from Timmy Hansen out front. Ken Block gets blocked off and look on the inside. How has Hansen managed to hold on to P1? Block's in there, Loeb around the outside. Unbelievable, Ken Block leads. Scheider's made it through to P2. The crowd are going absolutely mental. Everybody locked up on the way down into the left and the right hand of the 3 Peugeots are running. P2, P3 and P4, but it is Ken Block who leads.
It's unbelievable, what a start over there. I cannot believe how Timmy Hansen actually kept that car straight. He's sitting in 2nd position at the moment. Scheider goes on for the joker lap at the moment.
Look at the front.
The front of the car's coming off. I mean, can Ken Block keep going for another 6 laps?
I hope he can, I really hope he can. Go on, Ken, I'd love to see him in the final at his last event. It would be absolutely fantastic. So through the long right hander, are the cars all in good health? Sebastian Loeb runs a bit wide. Has Loeb got a puncture there? I wasn't sure the front left looked like it might have gone down. I'm trying to see. Yeah, Loeb's got a puncture front left. I can see from the commentary position. You should see him on a bit of a go slow now. Pieces of cars being shed everywhere. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It looked like he had as he came through turn 3, but Yeah, so we're having other thoughts on our headsets coming through that we think Loeb's got a puncture as well. So Loeb was pulled out to the outside. He has. Okay, I was right.
He's definitely got a problem over there. Kevin Hansen got through him as well, but at the moment it's Ken Block, Timmy Hansen, Kevin Hansen, Loeb on a joker lap, but that's really, really going to hurt him. Kevin Eriksson and Scheider, a man to watch there because he's carrying on. He's going to just have to make up time. He needs to make up another 2.2 seconds if he has any chance here.
So Scheider's 4.9 off the back of the leader at the minute, and Eriksson's pulled out. So Kevin Eriksson has pulled out. I have to say that was a carnage start. Maybe everyone, oh my goodness me, Ken Block's car is just dropping pieces of bodywork left, right and centre. Sebastian Loeb, yeah, he could maybe have slowed everyone else up, and that would have played into the hands, of course, of the rest of the Peugeots. Into the joker lap, Timmy Hansen. So Timmy Hansen into the right-hander. We saw him do this earlier. He takes this really unique line, which gets the power down early on this merge. Going to come out almost alongside Kevin. Are they going to radio Kevin? I think they are. Kevin shuts the door on his brother, but he's maintaining good pace.
Yeah, they're looking both very, very good at the moment there, but Timmy Hansen really manages to get that car straightened up as quickly as possible on the joker lap. So at this stage, the two Hansen brothers could be going through. Ken Block, as long as his car stays together, he's driving a magnificent race.
Oh, running really, really wide. Kevin Hansen is sideways over the jump. Timmy Hansen's up behind him and will be losing time here, so I think they'll try and joker Kevin in to get him out of the way. If they want Timmy to try and close that gap down, we could be looking at Ken Block on the front. There we go, they release him. They send Kevin. Right decision, Sasha.
They have to do it, otherwise they're going to lose out to Timo Scheider, the ex-DTM driver. So let's see, great apex there from Hansen. So look at Hansen and Scheider coming together. Whoa!
Scheider shuts the door, nicely done. So Scheider's found traction. Kevin Hansen now is going to have to pass Scheider if he wants to make his way through, and he is all over the back of him. There are barely any panels left on the car, so I think he's going to go for it.
They're going to be a lot of collector's pieces this weekend.
They're not going back in the container, are they? No way.
That's for sure. But I mean, watch these two, because this is going to be for P3. Scheider versus Hansen.
Ken Block, semi-final number 2. He hasn't made it through to the final this year, and he could possibly win his semi-final here, although Timmy Hansen is now closing him down fast. So at the minute, he's saying that Block would be in the lead, but I think that's on the last lap. So Timmy is on a big, big push here to catch up with the American.
And I tell you, Timmy's had a great
off on the
weekend.
side? Sorry, that's Kevin Hansen. So Kevin Hansen, as he pulled the car off, oh, double joker. Why is Kevin taking the joker twice? So Kevin's gone into the joker lap twice. We've got...
I think it's funny, so they've given him, they've knocked him down as 2, but it looks like Timmy Hansen's going to win this one. I think
Block's got a problem. Block's got a, so either Block has got a problem or Timmy's on an absolute fly. Sorry, Sasha, but Block is now right in the grips of Timmy Hansen behind him. He has to take his joker here. He's got to get out in front of Scheider. But to be honest with you, I think his place is booked because he could beat Scheider here. So this is Block and Scheider for that P2 in the semi-final. Timmy Hansen on the inside. I'm almost certain he's going to win this one. On the gas now for the Peugeot. Here comes Block. Watch Block versus Scheider. Block is going to do it. So Timmy Hansen is going to win semi-final number 2 and go through to the front row. And Ken Block, on the last outing of the Focus RS books his place in the final. Great drive by Ken Block. Scheider taking P3.
Phenomenal race here at the second semi-final. Brilliant. Timmy Hansen has just really impressed me. This is going to be one incredible final, as long as they've got a whole lot of panels to make those cars look good again.
They'll tape them up. Absolutely amazing. So, well, based on the 2 semi-finals, the final here could be absolutely mad. Wow.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm exhausted. I'm not even close to the cars, and I'm exhausted.
These races are only 5 minutes long, Sasha. You're used to an hour and 40. You can't be tired, surely.
I'm finished.
Eriksson coming around on a go slow, so he makes it to the finish, but going more slowly than everyone else. So we saw Kevin going through for that second joker after spinning off the track, it seemed. We're going to have so much to talk about with the replays. I'd like to see the package about 5 times. We've got cars coming in with just bits hanging off everywhere. Crowd going mad. We've had 27,253 people through the gate here on the very first ever Cape Town RX. Timmy Hansen wins semi-final number 2. Ken Block goes through to his first final of the year on his last outing as a permanent driver. Timo Scheider booking a slot as well in P3. Kevin Hansen, Sebastian Loeb and Kevin Eriksson, I think all probably victims of the first corner. Let's not say carnage, let's say enthusiasm.
We're going to allow this as our semi-final grid for Rx2 Final.
Okay, here's another look at that start. I don't even know who to watch for here, so just have a good look at this. So everybody moves inside. Scheider and Block have quite a lot of contact. You can see Hansen's being pushed sideways, Timmy that is. So Timmy runs deep, gets on the gas. Lowe gets up the inside of Block. Look. Scheider then comes in like very quickly. I thought Timmy was gone there, and in fact a little nudge, I think, from his teammate is what straightens him out. Look at this. I mean, anybody who's got that shot on a stills camera from the front, it's absolutely epic.
I love the word enthusiasm. Yeah. Everyone was so enthusiastic going in there. But Hansen, as you say, I think he was very lucky that either, I think Loeb actually, knocked him, so he actually got his wheel straight. But look at that car.
Look at the state of Block's car. Sasha, you're our analyst. I'm going to ask you to tell me what happened in turn 1 and whose fault was that?
I would have to go and say that it was Kevin Eriksson's fault.
Okay. We have no idea. My goodness me, what a race.
Timmy, that was a very impressive way to seal your place in the last final of the year.
Yeah, that first corner, I don't think I've ever been treated that hard. The pushes from behind were out of this world. And I was 100% the wrong direction turning into turn 2. And I had contact with Seb, nose to nose, turning into there. But luckily that put my car in the right direction. I could come out second. And then I felt we had a lot of pace on Ken, so when we jokered, it was enough with 1 lap. I came up behind Kevin. He was nice enough to joker immediately, and then he felt quite safe after that. But whoa, that first corner.
We'll go and get the car fixed up. We'll see you in the final.
Yeah, we have some work to do. Thanks.
So not long at all for these guys to re-prepare those cars. Of course, the people in semi-final 2 always with a little bit more, a little bit more up against it. Basically, they need to go and get those cars fixed up, because we want to see a no-holds-barred race in the final here. Cape Town in South Africa has not disappointed. We've got 2 more races to go in 2017.
Never mind, you don't want to. Go!
Next up then we have the last Rx2 final of the year. You are seeing a lovely picture there of Cape Town's Table Mountain. On the far right hand end there's a little cable car station. We went up there with some of the drivers on Friday. That was before all the action started. The action is well underway now, and of course we have already had the semi-finals for Rx2. So Dan Rook on row 2 in this one, the black coloured car in behind Cyril Raymond, who got the whole shot down into turn 1, was looking to try and take P2 in this championship. We've had qualifying. He's been out-qualified by Guillaume de Ridder by, I think it was 3 spots, and coming here, De Ridder, okay, De Ridder was a fair way back. He was about, he was 15, around, over 20 points back. So Dan Rook can afford to drop some time places to him, but at the minute, De Ridder has been taking the points off him in the run-up towards the final. So Cyril Raymond was on the kind of form we've seen from him all year long. The guy is won RX Lights last year. Of course, it was renamed RX2 this year, and he's won that as well. Look at the gap here. Just gives you an idea of how talented the young Frenchman is. Super tidy.
Yeah, he's a guy that you've got to say is going to be in the supercars very, very soon. What a superb talent as well. Watch out for him. You know, if he gets a good jump here, I think he'll show why he's the champion.
5 wins, you know, can he make it 6 out of 7? Absolutely fantastic performance by Cyril Raymond this year, and as you say, supercar teams must surely be looking out for him. Guillaume de Ridder on pole in this one with Vasily Gryazin alongside, and then in the Traction Factory back car, Tanner Witten. Look, you can see in P3 a little bit of contact here in turn 1. Witten managed to hold on to P3 at this point. Gryazin, I saw at the weekend, before the weekend, sorry, he was all smiles. De Ridder as well, running around the track. De Ridder challenged everyone to run around the track for 5 laps with him. I think he was the only person who completed the challenge, so immediately demoralising everybody else by showing them just how fit he was. And he made it look incredibly easy, Sasha, in very hot conditions.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really very special to watch these guys. Also, just, you know, if you look at some of these highlights, I mean, this is maybe something new to a lot of our South African audience to see RX2. And these cars, you know, believe you me, they are not slow by any stretch of the imagination, and they've given us a terrific showing here this weekend as well.
They have indeed. A 1-make series, spec engine, spec chassis, 2.4 litre engine, sequential gearboxes, designed as a training ground for supercar. And of course, Kevin Hansen and Kevin Eriksson have both come up through this class, so it teaches you to be tidy. Dan Rook, you can see here, was the British Rallycross champion in supercar last year, and he came across to RX2, so a higher profile championship but slightly cheaper cars to run, and he said it's taught him to be a better driver. He's been challenging Cyril Raymond, but say Cyril Raymond has taken 5 wins to Dan Rook's 1, so will we see one of those two take the the final victory of the year, and will it be one of the many drivers behind who would like to do the same?
All right, folks, put on the cement dust. Marshals are back in their positions. Now.
Well, here we go then. It is time for the last Rx2 final of 2017. Let's take a look at the lineup for this one.
It's going to be difficult in these cars.
On pole, Cyril Raymond, the champion this year and last, who's taken 5 wins so far. Can he make it 6? Next to him, Guillaume de Ridder, who would like to steal P2 off Rook in the championship. At the minute, it's advantage Rook. Sondra Evgen and Tanner Witten on row 2. And on row 3, we have Vasily Gryazin and Dan Rook. So Rook has a bit to do if he wants to make it up towards the front and make life difficult for de Ridder. I say he came here with, what was it, 130, 18 points in terms of a championship lead for P2. He wants P2, and to be fair to Rook, I mean, if you look, he's had 2 seconds, a third and a first, and then unfortunately went wrong in Canada. He was P6 in Canada, and that kind of dropped him away a bit from Cyril Raymond. But Raymond has been absolutely incredibly impressive, and I think we'll see that performance again here. I could be wrong. De Ridder might make it hard for him. Remember what we've had in turn 1 in these last couple of races. Here we go, Rx2. Rocket ship start from the back row there. Everybody hooking the cars up nicely. Who's going to get down to turn 1 first? I think Cyril Raymond's going to do it. Always a bit of contact in the background straight away. So de Ridder having a look on the inside there. And it was contact. 69 is Evgen had contact with him. Yeah, so de Ridder's made it up into P2, and Dan Rook has ended up down in P6. That hasn't gone Rook's way at all.
Hasn't gone as well. De Ridder really wants the victory. Also, I mean, you know, if you come second in the championship, you don't really want to get that without a win. So I mean, de Ridder's going to have to fight, but Raymond is going to be very tough to beat in this this event.
Well, we saw that. I mean, the first semi-final he really did check out, you know, and the guy's super tidy. He works at a go-karting school in southern France, so he spends a lot of time in admittedly karts, but it's that accuracy and that consistency which makes such a difference in these spec cars when they're all the same.
Yeah, terrific driving. De Ridder lying in second there. We got Witten. Evgen has gone onto the Joker lap as well. They've got 6 laps. Rook has moved up into 5th place now as well, and Gryazin unfortunately didn't have a great start.
Gryazin is it's Raymond leading. Gryazin actually in P4 looking at where we are, so the graphic is showing something different to you than what we're seeing on the timing screens. There we go, he moves up now as he crosses the loop. So there we go, Gryazin up to P4, Evgen down into P6. There's a roll! Rook! Dan Rook's gone over. That's a disaster for Dan Rook. So Dan Rook has gone over, and is this going to get red flag because the car is upside down in the middle of the circuit? Surely they're going to have to stop this one. There is no coming back from that. He's in the circuit upside down. I'm looking around now to see what the marshals are doing. They're reaching for the red flags. The red flags are out, and this one is going to get stopped. Red flags. Dan Rook is on his route. He's out the car, and Dan Rook, bless him, has run away from the car to allow the final to continue, and that is very gentlemanly. He says, I'm fine, and they've stopped the race anyway. Good on you, Dan. Need to know the points. Would like to see what the points are to figure out whether or not de Ridder can beat him for P2.
Well, he's okay. That's the most important thing. So great stuff that Rook is okay, but sure, amazingly, you haven't seen one of those cars go on his roof, and it's happened here in the final.
Well, there we are. The marshals are at the car already. It's made things rather more complicated. They need to get that rolled over and put onto a flatbed, taken away as quickly as possible. There it is. Okay, we're going to take a look back at some of the action from that. Maybe we can see exactly what happened with Rook. Doesn't look quite so cool upside down, does it? So I'm obviously glad Dan's okay. It was a low-speed roll. We could see he was okay. It's okay, here's Raymond through. He comes up and takes the curb. So watch for Dan Rook, who's in P5. So there's Witten comes through, Gryazin. Okay, so has he clipped the bail? I think maybe on the way in, and that is a significant roll. You can see he's broken the suspension, but no big impacts on the roof of the car, so there shouldn't be too much damage. Obviously, he won't be taking any further part today. I'm kind of thinking of his wallet, really, Sasha, because obviously that's not really what you want to do at the end of the season. He's roll the race car.
It's not a cheap cheap crash over there.
The crowd are loving it.
Yeah, they loved it. There we go. Well, they love the fact they're on TV.
Like? Yeah, what's not to like in the last 20 minutes, half an hour? We have treated these guys to some absolutely incredible racing. Okay, well, we're going to have to get a recovery done before we can do anything more. They'll surely roll that car straight back onto its wheels and get it away as quickly as possible, because of course we want to get you guys at the supercar final There's Dan Rook, perfectly okay. You saw Rook gave the crowd a big wave, and they went mad. They've absolutely loved any action here, so they want to take him to that case. One of the medical cars over there.
Also, we've got to see where you know, what happens with the points for Derrida. Will they restart the race just as 5?
I think they will. It be another 6-lap run, or yeah, okay, another 6-lap run. We think with just 5 cars. Here we go. Have a look at this. So Rook on in the Black Cup P5. Yeah, he does. Clips the bails. So just clips the bails. Look, and sends the car over. And oh, and you know, Evshin does well here, doesn't he? Right round the outside of a rolling car, nicely avoided. But as I say, no big impact, but frustrating for Dan.
And also just shows you, you know, these drivers are so precise. One little bit of a mistake, and all of a sudden that changes.
Just looking for an extra 10th, isn't he? Basically looking for an extra 10th.
All the time.
Okay, interesting. We've got Matthias Ekström with Neil Cole right now, so let's go and have a chat with Matthias, and we can find out what his thoughts were about those incidents in semi-final number 1.
Well, Matthias, one of the advantages of being in semi-final 1 is you haven't got this quick panic repair like the Peugeot Hansens have behind you.
No, we have been very often in the semi-2, so we know that can be very busy, but that's a part of the game.
And your situation, you did a good job in the semi. You're now 4 points ahead of Petter, in second in the championship, so it could all come down to this fight in the final.
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, already got the taste of the VW team tactics, so I will have to fight alone against the 2 guys now, but it's a part of the game, and I will do my best to try and battle them, so we'll look forward to the final.
I know that historically you and Petter have always fought fair and you've been sort of respectful of each other. Do you think that was entirely fair in the semi-final?
No, but we have a rule book. I must admit I did not expect it because Petter had been a man of honor in every single race, and I was not expecting his team to do. But you know, everybody wants to win so badly, and for sure he wants the silver medal as badly as I want. But I was caught by surprise when Johan was trying to help him that much. So it's okay. I mean, I've been used to professional motorsport for so many years and seen it coming and going. So I didn't expect it in Rallycross.
Okay, gloves on, let's go.
I think that's Ekström being very polite, but kind of saying, yeah, okay, well, you know, I'm not over the moon about that situation.
Well, you know, I think it's also, you know, decent that they understand the rules. They're trying to push each other out. He didn't expect that from you know, an opposing team, but he doesn't have a long lip like we see in some other formulas in the world. You know, he's just sitting there saying,
hey, this is the game.
Let's go.
This is the game.
That's it.
This is the game. Okay, Kristofferson, so Ekström having a look at this. They're being very, very careful. If you're in Sweden, you might be able to figure this out, but okay, so these are 2 pros here talking into the ear, which we can't see on camera. I don't speak Swedish anyway, although I did overhear Solberg and Kristofferson talking about what gears they were in. They often talk with the English commentary team. They'll talk in their own language when they're trying to keep something a secret. So it's great fun when they were talking to each other about what gears they were in. I said, oh, 6th, is it breaking down to 3rd and 4th through turn 1? They looked at me and smiled. I don't know anywhere nearly enough Swedish to know what's going on here, but I do know these are 2 guys who are not very happy with each other. Well, okay, maybe this is excuses, because I think Kristofferson here is, let's say, explaining from his point of view, because they're pointing at the track.
I'd like to know what you were just saying to Matthias there.
Obviously, I didn't want to go quicker than I had to, but the exit of the last corner from the Joker, I have a right rear puncture. And I had so much wheel spin, I picked up so much wheel spin, so when I tried to select the gear, I couldn't gear, so I had to dip the clutch to push the gear. And then I saw Petter was coming, and of course I didn't push maximum inside to the corner to see if Petter can go through, but then it was a big mess, but just wanted to explain to Matthias that I had the puncture from the exit from the Joker.
And now it's all going to happen in the final all over again?
Yeah, I mean, that's what everyone wants. I mean, now it's down to the wire, so it's going to be good.
Thanks, Johan.
Okay. So Johan saying then that he had a problem in the exit of the Joker. I mean, you know,
there's always 3 stories, you know. But the great thing about it is we've got to go racing, and they're going to settle it on the track.
Yeah, they will. I mean, you know, it's like the stewards may well then settle it afterwards. But I think we should just enjoy what happens on the track and not worry about what happens in the offices later on. So I'm sure they'll have a look at it. And the timing screens are showing that there's going to be a little bit of a look. And apparently there was contact after the final in semi-final 2. as well. So, okay, it continued after the race. So, yeah, there we go. This is the way sometimes. So the cars are rolling back up to the grid for the restart of the Rx2 Final. I'm not sure on the points, I have to be honest, because of course we've had qualifying, we've had semi-final 1, and we're coming through to the final. We're bringing the standings at the end of this final and let you know whether or not De Ridder was close enough to overtake Rook, who of course has rolled out of this one. So we're going to have a restart for Rx2. Rolling up the last car towards the jump start sensor. Gryazin takes his place at the back of the grid. Witten, Tanner Witten's best result this year has been P2 in Norway. He's been P3 twice. De Ridder has taken 3 second places in a row. Sweden, Canada and France would love to take a win here in South Africa. But he's up against it with Cyril Raymond, because Cyril Raymond is the weapon of choice in Rx2. 5 out of 6 so far, and it was only Sweden when he landed a jump wrong, slightly too close to a curb and nipped the tyre and lost out to Rook. So it could have been a clean sweep. Imagine 7 from 7, that would have been some way to go. Here we go then. Restart for the Rx2 Final. Revs up to the limiter. Watch for the green. Good start by Gryazin on the back row. So Gryazin moves across, but Witten shuts the door towards Evgen. And De Ridder moves in behind Raymond. So Evgen up the inside of Tanner Witten, runs into the back of De Ridder, pushes De Ridder wide. That's played into Vasily Gryazin's hands. He makes up 2 places up the inside. And it is Cyril Raymond from Guillaume De Ridder.
Great anticipation there from Gryazin, just watching Tanner making the mistake and stealing that position from him. But also De Ridder knows that there we go. Rook is not in the race, so I mean he really has to try and push Raymond as hard as possible. But I don't know if he's got the skill.
It's going to be very, very tricky, isn't it? I mean, you can see through the results during the year, as I say, De Ridder, semi-finals, then he was 4th in a final, then he only made the semis, and then 3 seconds in a row. He's really come into form later on in the year. These cars are quite hard to drive. We were saying earlier, because it's a spec class, you've got to carry momentum. And Dan Rook, who say has rolled out of this, was said to us on numerous occasions he thinks it's made him a better driver than a supercar. When you've got guys like Kevin Hansen and Kevin Eriksson who've won this championship, you can't really question it.
Well, definitely. I mean, this is the school you have to learn on. You can't just go into the big supercars. This is where you want to learn. And, you know, this is the kind of series we should have here in South Africa to get our guys learning and then, you know, hopefully get them into supercars as well one day.
Well, I hope we'll see some South African drivers in World Rx again next year. We'd love to have one full time as we see Witten go out towards the Joker lap. De Ridder chasing Raymond in P2, but it's 1.3 seconds back now. Witten comes in behind Evgen, so those two have jokered and maintained the same position. So Witten drops in behind Evgen. You'll see that change when they cross the start-finish line. There's Raymond through the first corner. Such a long corner, Sasha, that turn 1, it really is. And then into 2 onto the gravel and around to the left. You can see the tyre bail on the curve, which has slowed them a little bit because they were using full curve yesterday. Now, obviously, they've had to alter their line. Same down at turn 6.
Yeah, of course, but that turn 1 is stunning because it's basically a double apex. It actually becomes a triple apex, so you've got somebody pushing you all the way there. And then you have really hard on the brakes to get onto the gravel as well. It's a beautifully designed circuit over here. It just shows you the skill of these guys, Andrew. They really know how to perfect it, you know, within 2 or 3 runs.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We saw some incredible outlaps this morning. We saw some pretty quick recce laps. They did sighting laps on Friday because it's a brand new circuit, which we only normally do when we do, say, a long-haul flyaway event. No one sat in the car for 5 weeks, so they did a couple of sighting laps. They were very quick then. And the Rx2 guys giving some media rides as well, and some of your South African colleagues went on those media rides and were pretty impressed, weren't they?
They were overly impressed. They couldn't believe, number one, the speed of all of these cars and also just the skill of these drivers. That's why there's so many world champions in them.
Raymond continuing to lead from De Ridder. Gryazin is in P3 and hasn't jokered. So Gryazin is what, 4.5 from 1.7. He's just about okay if he went to the Joker. No, sorry, I'm looking forwards and we need to look back. 4.5 to 6.5. There's only 2 seconds in it. We know it's 2.1 in a supercar, so it's probably more in a lights car, the difference between the two. You know, in which case I think he's in danger here. Gryazin could end up in this fight between Evgen and Witten.
Yeah, and that's for sure. And Witten, I think, seems to be unfortunately being held up quite a bit by Evgen as well. But Raymond just showing the class of why he's a champion and why it's going to be 6 out of 7. you know, plaudits to this young man. Great driver.
Would love to see him in a supercar, really would. We know he's done so. Oh, De Ridder stopped! De Ridder has stopped, so Guillaume De Ridder is pulling out of the final almost exactly where Dan Rook rolled the car just a few moments ago, so De Ridder is going to end up P5 in this. Okay, well, there you go, so unlucky for him. Really unlucky for him, and Gryazin now then was looking, well, Gryazin would have been looking at P2, look, so actually, you know, there's only one person who's going to miss out on a podium. They're going to be out pushing like mad to try and make sure that they are the ones who stand on that podium for the last time this year. Gryazin with a bit of understeer up in turn one, as you see Cyril Raymond flying down over the jump and into the right-hander. So watch in the background then, this is the last lap. Gryazin's going to have to go into the Joker. I think he's going to get swallowed up.
I think he's going to get swallowed up by Witten and by MJ, unfortunately. But I mean, can we get any more drama? De Ridder most probably looking at second in the championship by finishing second, and unfortunately, he's going to lose out to Rook and finish third.
So there we go. Raymond headed towards the win. Into the Joker lap goes Gryazin. On the standard lap, Evgen and Witten are going to take P2 and P3. Cyril Raymond takes his 6th win from 7 events this year. That is why he's the champion. Absolutely brilliant drive from him. Pretty much faultless. P2 goes to Evgen and P3 goes to Witten. So that is Evgen's first podium, and you can see how much that means. Absolutely fantastic. Pitches the car into a series of donuts. Cyril Raymond's going to climb out and stand on the roof. Tanner Witten. Great job by Witten to take P3. And that is the fourth podium, the third time we've seen Witten in P3. But Evgen, I think, is the one there who should be the most pleased for us. So second place for the first time this year on the podium. Fantastic performance.
Wonderful, and there we go. We celebrate with Raymond. Brilliant performance this whole season, and it really has been the class of this field here in Cape Town as well.
So Cyril Raymond is going to head on. Ken Block, oh wow, no! Oh, no. Ken Block then, who qualified for the final for the first time, is being replaced by Kevin Hansen in the final. So Ken Block has been, we have a weigh station on the way in. What concerns me here is he's probably been underweight because of the amount of panels that were missing from the car.
I was just about to say that. I think it's purely because he lost so much of his bodywork, and that's desperate. I think especially also for the South African crowd.
Yeah, it's a shame. He's massive over here, isn't he? He's keeping out to all the Top Gear events throughout it. So Ken Block has been excluded from the final. He had qualified, and Kevin Hansen goes through. I'd be really, really disappointed, and there we go. That's the way it goes. Let's have a look at the results from the Rx2 final before we get on to the biggest final of the day. So, results of Rx2. There is Raymond rolling back to the paddock. 8 points for Cyril Raymond, takes his 6th win from 7 events this year. Sondre Evgen is P2, then Tanner Witten, Gryazin, Guillaume De Ridder with a DNF due to a mechanical, and Dan Rook due to a roll. Right, we're hoping to have a look back at some of the action from that in just a moment. I can see the Monster Energy girls heading out towards the grid. And we've got the cars lining up, of course, for the last World RX final of the year. Is that Block or Bash? Bakkerud's car parked at the side of the road. So we saw Forrest Duplessis, Ken Block spotter, talking to David Mansfield, who is Andreas Bakkerud's spotter. They'll be really disappointed. Here we go, these are the replays of the Rx2 rerun, of course, so this won't include the roll from Dan Rook, and it was a great start by Cyril Raymond.
It was brilliant, and I mean, he just held it on the inside. He knew exactly what he had to do. But De Ridder as well, also great job. He knew that Rook wasn't in the fight, so, you know, he had all of the chance to actually catch him in the points, but didn't work out his way. There we go, unfortunately, some kind of mechanical failure.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, but increasing pace from him, you know, all through the season, did the right thing to get the car out of the way as well, and yeah, I was impressed that Dan Rook was so quick to run from his car in the hope the final could continue. In fact, they restarted it. Raymond up onto the top of the roof, while we see in the background donuts for Witten and Evgen, who take their best results of the year. Cyril Raymond nearly fell off the car. Right, finally then, on to the Supercar final, the last race of the 2017 FIA World Rallycross Championship. We've had our fair share of contact and maybe overexcitement in the 2 semi-finals. Are we going to see that in the final as well? The world champion Darren Kristofferson would like to take a record 7th win here. Timmy Hansen would like to take his first. Row 2, Matthias Ekstrom looking for P2 in the championship. Timo Scheider would love to be back on the podium. And bringing up the rear, Petter Solberg and Kevin Hansen. Solberg, of course, desperately chasing Ekstrom down. So Ekstrom came here 1 point behind Solberg. There's a few points in front of him as it stands, but as we say, possibly, you know, stewards will get involved later. Let's just enjoy the race and see what happens. Last time, I can't believe it, the year has absolutely flown by. I hope you guys have enjoyed it at home as much as we have enjoyed bringing it to you. Sasha, who's your money on? He said this man's had great bets all weekend. First time at World Rallycross, he's been bang on the money.
Listen, I've tried my best. Kristofferson is looking fantastic, but Timmy Hansen to me has just really impressed me out this whole weekend. I'm sure that people in the crowds at the moment, Andrew, saying, well, where's Ken Block? Because, you know, sometimes they don't get this
no,
news.
They won't have had the information that we've had. I mean, the circuit commentators might have had it. Let's have a look and see. Okay, yeah, number 40. Yeah, so the timing screen is showing that Ken Block was disqualified, steward's decision. So the local commentators should have, but yeah, you're right, we're lucky. We get this information sent very quickly via the organisers and the TV truck. Scheider, let's have a look and see what Scheider does. So Scheider's been on the podium once. Of course, he was second in Barcelona, the first event of the year. You know, could he end up back on the podium again? There's the Monster Energy Supercharge Award, and that's for the driver who has the fastest reaction times. Pat on the head for the Supercharge Award, very nicely done. That adorning your mantelpiece is quite something.
Well, I mean, listen, it's about Solberg and Ekstrom, you know, for the second in the championship, but I got a funny feeling that, you know, the Hansen boys are really looking for something special. Peugeot have had a tough season so far in terms of wins. I'm going for Hansen, who's going to get one over Kristofferson.
Hansen, desperate to do so. Be good to see the Peugeot up there. It would be good. I mean, Kevin into the final. This is Kevin's second final. So Kevin Hansen made it through to the final last time in Germany and ended up P6. He was running higher than that. He made a good move on Solberg up at turn 1. I can't wait for this, I really can't. And of course, Ekstrom, I think, okay, you know, Kristofferson's explained why he feels he was in the way on the exit of the Joker, but whether or not Ekstrom will have taken that as verbatim or not, we don't know. We don't know what they said. I'd love to know.
Exactly, and I mean, if Ekstrom gets the really good start, you know, watch out Kristofferson, he might tag him.
Down bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you can see the standings. So 252 to Ekstrom, 248 to Solberg. The gap is 4 points. Remember, it is 8 for the win, and then it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for positions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That should update live for us during the course of the race. Be able to let you know how it stands as they come around and complete the laps of this last final of the year. Crowd are being amped up for this one. Thumbs up from the marshals for the last time in 2017. They leave the grid. The drivers go through what they've gone through so many times this year to get ready for one last fight. We've seen some fantastic battles so far this weekend. Are we going to see another one now? It's the last race of the 2017 FA World Rallycross Championship, the final from Cape Town RX. Green light. Kristofferson did look to get the best of starts there. I think Hansen maybe jumped through all the reactions, but somehow he's out front. Ekstrom has to look up the inside of Hansen. Scheider's going to try and go around the outside. Solberg is in the back of Ekstrom, and that tags Timmy Hansen, who runs a little bit wide. Scheider's gone wide too. We're missing. Who's missing? Who's running further out the back of the pack? Kevin Hansen didn't make it off the line, so Kevin Hansen has not made it off the line, and his car has stopped.
Yeah, I got to just say, I can see his car from here. It seems to have gone sideways, so something's definitely broken on Kevin Hansen's car.
Is his car
just
in the track?
Right across
No,
from
he
us.
pulled it off. Kevin Hansen pulled the car off the track. That's from the commentary position. So look at the gap that Kristofferson has got already. Ekstrom is on the standard lap, and I think it's Timmy Hansen who's gone straight into the Joker lap. It is Timmy Hansen getting run wide. I think there was a concertina effect there. Solberg hit Ekstrom, who hit Hansen, and he ran and got pushed wide. There's a lot of dirt in turn 1.
Yeah, a lot of problem. And Timmy Hansen, he's loved that line, but he unfortunately got it wrong on this one. But he's on the Joker lap, so he's going to have to really fly. But he's done a great job on the Joker lap, so he's right in the back of everybody else, and that is on the back of Timo Scheider already.
Wheel arch hanging off Solberg's car. It's Solberg and Ekstrom running right next to each other in this one, fighting for second place. in the standings. Matthias Ekstrom winning the Monster Energy Supercharge Award for the fastest reaction time at the lights. It's normally his teammate Toppy Heikkinen who gets if he makes it to the final, so Matthias will be pleased with that. Scheider right out the edge of the track. Look at Timmy Hansen though. Timmy Hansen has jokered, has already got Scheider, and he's right up behind the two guys in front of him. For me, Kristofferson has managed to check out already, but Timmy's the danger man here for Ekstrom and Solberg. I think he could overlap them.
Definitely, but I mean, Kristofferson is just showing his class, and he's going to make this, I think he's going to look very, very easy. But the guy to watch, Timmy Hansen, he's really getting close to Solberg, and Solberg now really on the back of Ekstrom. These guys are fighting for the championship for second place, and they might tangle each other, and I think a guy like Timmy Hansen just watching it at the moment. Loads of parts coming off the back of Solberg's car.
There's bodywork everywhere.
He could get underweight.
He could at this rate. I don't think there's quite as much missing as there was from blocks. Solberg into the joke lap. Timmy Hansen will know he's going to keep it tidy on the inside, so Timmy needs to get in tight on those curves now. Look at the speed that Solberg's carrying. Hansen's on the gas. He'll move across, and the dust he will hope will distract Solberg. Solberg's going to come out alongside Scheider, is he?
Yeah.
So he's come out in front, so Solberg in front to Scheider. Hansen pops the curve through the chicane. Now Timmy's got Ekstrom in his sights.
He has, and it's only 1.6 seconds between Ekstrom and Hansen, and Ekstrom has to go and do the joker lap as well. So it's a great drive from Hansen after a really, really difficult start.
As it stands at the minute as well, Solberg, of course, and Ekstrom only separated by 2 points, and that would mean, with Ekstrom in front anyway, that Ekstrom would take P2 in the championship. Ekstrom goes joker. Here we go. So Ekstrom goes joker, and this is to try and cover off Solberg, who's behind him. So watch for Ekstrom out on the outside. Then you've got Timmy Hansen and Petter Solberg on the inside. Hansen lights the throttle. It's going to be super close between Ekstrom and Solberg. We saw contact last time out. Ekstrom comes out just in front of Solberg. Great call by the spotters.
Brilliant, brilliant call from the spotters over there. But it's still got one lap to go, and Solberg right in the back of Ekstrom. Hansen up into second place quite comfortably. And don't worry, you know, Scheider as well. But these two, Ekstrom and Solberg, are they going to be able to do anything? Keeping the cars walking all over the place.
Look at Kevin Hansen, he's there, he's jumping up and down. He always is. If he can't be in the race, he's supporting his brother Timmy. And of course, Timmy isn't going to be close enough, I'm sure, to get to Kristofferson. The gap is 3.5. We know it's only about 2 for the Joker. Got 1 lap to go, and Kristofferson has decided to wait for that. So Timmy Hansen in P2. Solberg's having a look up the inside of Ekstrom, but he can't quite find enough traction. Can he? Has he got enough grip? He's alongside Ekstrom now. Contact between them again. Ekstrom moves across, fishtailing all down the road. Solberg holds on and flings the car into the chicane, over the crest, through the dip, and onto the final lap.
Incredible driving there. I really thought Solberg was going to be able to get one on Ekstrom, but it didn't work out for him. Oh, and Solberg, Scheider goes very, very wide.
Scheider has indeed run wide. Kristofferson then, there's Kevin Hansen going, go on Timmy, jumping up and down. But Kristofferson here is on a victory parade. He's going to head off towards the left-hand side. The gap is 3.1. It should easily be enough. Johan Kristofferson comes around the outside, broken every single record in the book. He's setting new records in every single final. Timmy's on the inside. Can he deny him? It's going to be close. But Johan Kristofferson comes out of the merge in front of the Peugeot, and he's going to take a record 7th win in one season. He wins the last round of the 2017 FIA World Rallycross Championship as the champion. He'll stand on the top step of the podium. Hansen P2, Ekstrom P3, and that will secure him 2nd place in the drivers' standings.
What a race. Unbelievable from Johan Kristofferson.
Brilliant drive all season. Great, it's brilliant. I'm so pleased. We're going to see the world champion still on the top step of the podium at the last event of the year. Absolutely brilliant. Ekstrom donuts to celebrate his P2 in the driver's standings. Oh, there we go. Job done. Job done. Donuts from Scheider right in front of the competition. You can see in the background there. Neil Cole is with Tommy Kristofferson.
Tommy, we've stood in this position many times before, but never in the shadow of Table Mountain. Congratulations to you and to Johan.
Thank you so much. It was an amazing weekend for us, and it's very great to finish in the best way. And after a marvelous season, it's just so good to pack everything together, go here from a new victory, and the way that Johan is driving now, he really deserves it. So it's a great honor to be a part of this great team. And sorry for Petter, because the aim was to get him on the 2nd position, but we didn't really manage. So we have to be happy with the 2 titles that we already get. So, and to win the last race is just amazing. It will be a nice winter now.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you so much.
Kristofferson rides the car back towards the paddock, past a crowd who will very definitely know who he is now. I've been really surprised how much the South African people know about Rallycross. They've been watching it all year long, waiting for it to come to Cape Town. My goodness me, we've treated them to some incredible racing.
A weekend, it has been absolutely
lapping it up. Here's the result then of the last round of the 2017 FIA World Rallycross Championship. The world champion Johan Kristofferson takes it, but he was run hard to the flag by Timmy Hansen, who's been on great form this weekend. Ekstrom in P3 also takes the Supercharge Award, and with that he will of course take P2 in the driver's standings from Solberg behind him in 4th, Scheider and Kevin Hansen P5 and P6. Brilliant drive from Kristofferson. Nothing more we can say about this guy. He's just absolutely smashed it.
Trust me, it was absolutely amazing. Rest of the team, brilliant stuff.
Well, there you can see the weighbridge, which unfortunately ruined Ken Block's dreams, because of course the cars come in and are weighed, and we know he'd lost so much of the body panels that he unfortunately was excluded and didn't make it through. Let's have a look back at some of the action from that final. Kristofferson getting the whole shot from Hansen, and there was Kevin Hansen pulling off to the side. Look, so I wonder, you know, I mean, there's a chance he knew about the problem with the car before he took the start, but he would take the start anyway to get the extra point. We don't know. Kristofferson leading though. This was Ekstrom in turn 2, look, with Solberg, and Solberg would have been desperate to try and get past, but he was just so far in front, Sasha. No one challenged him, really.
It really was. It was precision driving. You see body parts falling all over the cars, but you know, still, a final is a final, and you have to really give all of that commitment. You never know what can happen.
Timmy did really, really well. Really well. I think it's nice to see the Peugeot back on the pace. You know, I'd like to think, as I say, that we're going to see Timmy Hansen in a great car next year. He's done himself absolutely no harm at all in these last couple of events with brilliant results. He was P2 in Germany and P2 here as well. So best of the rest for him. We know Sebastian Loeb's back in the car with Peugeot next year. Where will Timmy Hansen be? Kevin Hansen, Andreas Bakkerud. So much to happen. Great fight between these two, Ekstrom and Solberg. Okay, a little bit of needle from the first semi-final, but that's the way it goes. Everybody wants to win.
And also just showing, you know, that they are professionals. You know, they didn't take each other out. They sat there and fought as hard and as clean as possible.
Listen to that crowd. That's all you need to know about this place. They absolutely love their rallycross. Kevin Hansen loves it when his brother does well. I don't think Timmy would be able to see him, but I love how enthusiastic about it he is. There we go.
Just brilliant, brilliant to see. And you know, that's the word you taught me. Enthusiasm, enthusiastic, just phenomenal.
Thanks, Sasha. Thank you. Oh, it's been brilliant. I can't believe we're at the end of another season. What a place to finish. A sun view.
Yeah, it's not a bad view there, Table Mountain, and yeah, she's showing off a little bit this afternoon. Beautiful.
Sunshine for the final round of the World Rallycross Championship. We had the slightest bit of drizzle. When was that? Oh, Friday maybe, or Saturday morning, which means that Linden Hill is the only, it must have been Saturday. Linden Hill remains the only venue which we hadn't had it. When I say drizzle, I mean the tiniest flecks of rain. I'm just basically bigging up the UK. We never get this weather, Sasha.
No, listen, the weather has actually been so magnificent. You know, in Cape Town, I mean, they're desperate for water, but you know, this has just been brilliant all around.
So just the podiums to go. We're going to have a look at the Drivers' Championship standings for you now that all is done at the end of the season. Johan Kristofferson on 316 points, of course, the world champion. Matthias Ekstrom moving up to P2 on 256. He ends 5 points ahead of Peter Solberg, who drops down to P3. But both the Volkswagens on the podium for the year and will, of course, be attending the FIA Awards for that. Sebastian Loeb in 4th. Have to say, Loeb, absolutely brilliant. You know, 4th place. Everyone ahead of him has been an event winner, and this is the smallest number of event winners we've ever had. So Ekstrom taken 4, Solberg's taken 1, Kristofferson has taken 7. Absolute dominance. Neil Cole is with Johan Kristofferson, the world champion, the record breaker, the legend, the man himself.
Johan, incredible. Another race win. I think that's a record.
I think I have 7 wins this year. It's over 50%. That's not bad.
It's one way to dominate a season and a sport. Muted celebrations within the team because, of course, Petter is 3rd in the championship. But for you personally, this just must be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we would like to have Petter on 2nd place, but Matthias did an amazing job, and Matthias is always a very strong competitor when it's down to the wire and when you really have to perform good. And yeah, Petter didn't have the best race this weekend, but I had my 7th victory, and it's just amazing, and what a team effort.
So right now you're going to have 2 podiums to celebrate, so well done, Johan.
Thank you very much.
Kristofferson, very pleased indeed. More than 50% win rate is just absolutely fantastic. Incredible season 2017. Kristofferson, the man. What a driver. Neil Cole is down at the holding area and he's managed to get hold of Timmy Hansen. He was so close to taking that win he so desperately wanted.
Timmy, we knew how much you wanted to win one win this year, but that was so close. I don't think you could have gone any quicker.
No, there was not 1 millimeter left to take out of this run. Matthias played a very strategic game in the beginning. I was pushed quite a lot in the first corner, so came out 4th, and with Matthias closing, giving a lot of space to Johan not to let him close for him. I was caught a bit behind that. I could joke or get clean air. I caught them again. And then I saw lap by lap I was catching this invisible Polo. And we were faster than him lap by lap, and I was catching a little bit, but in the end I was missing a few tenths. But you know, there was not one single thing I could have done more in that. And the start was also brilliant, but not just quite there.
You left everything out there. Great to watch. Enjoy the podium.
Thank you very much.
Here are the teams' standings after the final round. PSRX Volkswagen Sweden on 549. That tells you all you need to know. But a great defence of second place by Team Peugeot Hansen, has to be said. Brilliant job by Sebastian Loeb and Timmy Hansen. EKS Audi in P3, and then in Hoonigan Racing Division, MJP Racing Team Austria and Team Start in 6th place.
Yes, that was great to watch. A very, very good, fair fight in the final.
Yeah, I was, must say, I was a little bit surprised in the semi-final. So in the final, I was trying to help myself out, and it worked fine. So I'm pretty happy, and also happy for my guys.
Yeah, and the roundup of a season that hasn't been easy, but you've had a lot of wins, and you're 2nd in the championship, so you must be happy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really complain. I'm probably the biggest loser of the year with being 2nd in DTM and 2nd here, but I'm still very happy because it's a long season. Double up DTM and Rallycross takes some energy, and to finish in both championships 2nd, I think is a great achievement. And anyway, congratulations to Johan. He did a great job as well, and Timmy also. So I can say it was an enjoyable season here.
Hopefully we'll see you again next year.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, we are going to bring you now the Drivers' Championship podium. Johan Kristofferson, the world champion, of course, and he would be on the top step of the podium anyway. Great stuff. That is the stunning Drivers' Championship trophy, and finally Johan gets his hands on it. Of course, he's got plenty of winners' trophies, but he's not managed to get that big one just yet. Pernilla Solberg up there with him, team principal, of course, for the VW team. PSRX Volkswagen Sweden. Peter Solberg, the team owner, his wife Pernilla, keeping control of everyone. Johan, great stuff. Both the trophies handed over to those guys. Here's the rest of the team at the side of the stage. I think they're waiting to head on up there. And he goes back up again. He's used to this. I mean, he's won so many times this season. It's getting ridiculous, to be honest. I think the other drivers are quite pleased it's finished, so they know where all the records are now.
No, they do. They sit and say, okay, bring on 2018. We're ready to do it. But a flawless season and a brilliant season. And to beat people like, the likes of Matthias Ekström as well, that just shows that, I mean, this is a serious championship.
I think that's one of the good things about it, to be honest. We've had Solberg, we've had Loeb, we've had Ekström come along. Yeah, we've had these legendary drivers come along, and they've not won straight away. It's taken most of them 10 events to win. And what's lovely here as well, although Kristofferson takes part in a lot of different forms of motorsport, he's from a Rallycross family. So, we had Solberg, who'd been a World Rally champion. We've had Ekström, who'd been a DTM champion. But now we've got a guy really who's kind of from Rallycross. Yeah. One of the youngsters. A name that maybe isn't a household name, or wasn't, but I think it will be now.
He definitely is now. And I mean, that's just wonderful to see. I mean, these 3 youngsters over there, that's bodes well for the future.
It does indeed. It does indeed. Just the champagne remaining for these guys. Ekström P1 on that. Stasha Martinengo, thank you so much for joining us. Have you had a good time?
Andrew, it's just been such an honour and a privilege. It's been fantastic. Thank you so much for teaching me so much as well.
Thank you so much, mate. It's been great fun. So at the end of a very, very long season of the World Rallycross Championship, there's your podium. Kristofferson taking that final win, a 7th win. Absolutely epic by him. Broken every single record in the book. Unlucky for Ken Block today. It looked like he made it through to the final, but in fact it was Kevin Hansen who went through when the kart was found to be underway. This was a spin for him. We saw a spin for Bakkerud over the line as well. It's been an absolutely epic season. There are so many stories to unfold over the winter. We don't know which of the drivers are going where. We're not sure if we've got new manufacturers coming. There's some very exciting things going on behind the scenes, and I'm absolutely convinced that 2018 is going to be brilliant. Kristofferson, of course, is going to want to protect that championship. The others are all going to want to take it off him. I think his records certainly are going to stand for a very, very long time. Thank you to everyone who worked so hard on this championship to bring it to you guys. We hope that you have enjoyed watching it, as I say, as much as we have enjoyed bringing it to you. Cape Town, a wonderful host for the last round of the year. And we had some absolutely incredible racing. The semi-finals and the final here were absolutely mad. They really were. This was the semis. And of course, up in turn 1, this was the merge when Kristofferson tried to help his teammate Solberg, and Ekstrom made his feelings clear about that. Kristofferson said he had a puncture. He looked pretty quick over the finish line. Either way, he still managed to take the win. This was the carnage up in semi-final number 2. So Ken Block, really unlucky. I would love to have seen him in the final with the Ford Focus RS RX for the last time, but unfortunately, it wasn't to happen. Monster Energy Supercharge Award went to Matthias Ekstrom. He was the fastest man off the line, but he couldn't beat Johan Kristofferson. No one has been able to beat Johan Kristofferson this year. His 7th win. Absolutely incredible. What a brilliant season. It's going to be a few months before you're going to see us again, but I hope you'll be able to join us in the middle of April when we are heading back to Barcelona to get 2018 underway. We will see you then.